Go now. Here we 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 go now.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Once again, welcome back to the PUBG Mobile Club Open for 2021 for the Nepal region, brought to you by the Oppo F19 Pro. Hook up your fun with the Oppo F19 Pro and also a huge shout out to our media partners, Evo TV, official broadcasting partner of the PMCO Fall Split 2021. This is Super Johnny, ladies and gentlemen, once again returning with the action of the group stage. Joining me, it is going to be Phoenix Sivanch, and today we get an opportunity to witness the teams from Group C and D in the four matches that they have lined up.
Yeah, yesterday we saw Group A and Group B. They were playing pretty well. Some of the teams they were amazing,
Yeah.
like JyanMaara and AS1. AS1 secured two chicken dinners in a row, and I expect the same from the groups from Group C and D because we have some of the best teams from the Nepal region.
Yeah, and talking about the best, I mean, these teams will be clashing up against each other as you do have the schedule in front of us today. It's going to be C versus D. Then tomorrow, A versus D, B versus C, A versus C happening on day 5 and day 6. Group B going up against Group D. And in group stages, we will have 12 matches for every single group, 4 matches per day. So every single group will play 12 matches. But when we move to the finals, ladies and gentlemen, there will be 16, 4 matches 4 days, that 16 matches to be played in total between those 16, and that will decide how the prize money is going to be split between the teams. The team that wins the PMCO, ladies and gentlemen, the team that finishes
Yeah.
on the first position in the finals will be walking away with $3,600. But to all the teams that get eliminated in this stage of the tournament, they just get $300.
Yep, and the interesting part is if you're going to finish at the first place, you will get the PMPL slot for the PMPL season 4, and that's the most interesting part. But as I just mentioned, if these teams are able to qualify for the finals, they will receive $300. But if you're going to finish in the top 16, you'll get $800, then 11 to 13, then you're going to get $850. But let's talk about the point structure. How you're gonna receive a big chunk of money by securing good amount of points, and this is a pretty standard point structure. If you're gonna get first place, if you're gonna get the second dinner, then you'll get 15 points for each kill. You will get 1 kill point.
Well. I mean, as you said, for each kill, you will be walking away with 1 kill point. Those kill points, turn out to be quite important for a lot of teams. But let's see what the games today are going to look like. Yesterday, we had a lot of interesting matchups in
Yeah.
terms of how the teams actually decided to play. And today, as well, I believe we're going to see a lot of experience stats going up against the new teams that have qualified through the play stages, ladies and gentlemen. And it's going to be super exciting to watch because, again, we said 16 teams in the finals. Well, only the top 15 will be moving forward from these stages because Skylight Gaming is already waiting for the players
Yeah.
in the finals. And talking about the squad, starting off with Group C, we have TDP, CN Esports, 7 Global Thugs. Europe East Flow is a team that we have looked at for a long time. It's going to be quite impressive, especially with Sujan in the lineup. Goza Esports with Sad Boy as well. It's going to be quite interesting to see how these teams perform. But these aren't the only ones. Group E, look at that. Ikta, Raw, Elementrix in the same group.
So it is going to be amazing, as well as the type of contestation they were just fighting in the PMPC will PMNC basically it will continue in the PMCO as well. We have under it as well as Skullu, Dash Rangers, and Hell Raisers also in Group E. But the interesting part is today we have 4 match lined up for you. First it's going to be Erangel, then Miramar, then Sanhok, and then again Erangel.
I mean, it is definitely going to be super fun to watch these matches and these players, especially as we did talk about Group D. That is a lot of experience right there in the first three
Yeah.
teams. And along with that, you combine the X factor of Hellraisers, because Hellraisers is a name that I have been seeing for
Yep.
over a year. Now, it's just the name that I'm talking about. The lads that are playing for under the banner, they are definitely different set of players. But still, just the fact that they have a tag that they need to hold up to, they need to live up to a certain expectations because
Yes.
there is going to be pressure of the Hellraiser brand upon them. So we're
Yeah.
going to have to see what these players are going to do because that also sort of gives them the opportunity to just be free. And since there is an opportunity for them to prove themselves, if they actually do, the future is definitely going to be quite bright.
Yep, and as you just mentioned, we're talking about Hellraisers. They were playing from last 1 year, but we have another team who has a lot of experience. Trust the process. I
Oh
literally
yeah.
love their name, and I saw their one interview that they just focus on their journey. They never focus about the destiny because they know their journey is just going to decide how they're going to play and at which position they are going to finish. But the important part is in the previous PMCO, they were at the 10th position in the group stage, and in the finals, they finished at the ninth. So today, they are here to change that number.
I mean, definitely. They're going to change a lot of things because trustee process, again, I've been seeing that banner ever since I started my professional career as a commentator in esports. And since then, a lot has changed. The players that used to play for the banner back then have gone on to make a name for themselves in different of a variety of other places. But the respect that that banner holds, it still remains the same. So these young players, they've been given an opportunity to prove themselves, and I believe that is exactly what we're going to see them do. Even yesterday, we saw a lot of new teams, a lot of fresh faces putting up amazing, phenomenal performances in the matches that happened. And since, as we did talk about it, only 12 matches for each team in the group stages, that means once your 4 games for your first day are done, one third of the matches for the group stages are over, then you're just left with 8 games to secure a spot in the top 15.
So it is going to be very, very important that you have to show that consistent performance in every single match in order to, if you want to, continue suffer, or we can say continue your journey till the finals. You don't want to get suffered if you're just lacking with those 1 or 2 points if you just want to qualify. But the important part is only top 15 teams will qualify for the finals. I
Yeah.
just mentioned it earlier because Skylight Gaming already waiting for them for the finals. Now the important part is another important thing, and that is yesterday we saw JyanMaara. They have a lot of experience. They know some of the teams how they play, and that's why they were phenomenal. They have the
Yeah.
highest amount of kill points amongst other teams. Now, I expect the same from some of the teams who has a lot of experience. The players they were playing in the PMPL as well as they were playing in the past PMCO. So let's see how these players are going to play today from the Group C and
I,
from Group D.
I would say the major competition for JyanMaara is already here. Raw officials playing in from Group D. But with
Yeah.
that being said, ladies and gentlemen, match number one is live. The trajectory of the plane starting from just the eastern side of Zarki and well ending towards the western side of the Sosnovka military base. So this is a trajectory that leans quite heavily towards the western part of the map. Any team that wanted to go towards Milta, Yasnaya Polyana will have some trouble. They will have to land quite early, pick up those vehicles and go with their rotations. But what is the early drop location going to look like? We will find out quite soon as we do see Ekta Esports landing towards Georgia Pole City, the northern Georgia Pole City. Quite a standard drop for them. Raw official quite close to them as well, but these teams are so used to each other being present quite close to the early stages that they know exactly how they want to avoid that fight. But the interesting thing right now is that Kira Peace will also land towards the Georgia Port City. This is the one just
Oh
west
yeah.
of the containers. I want to see how that action over there between these two squads is going to work out.
Johnny, I know that we were talking about the same thing in the PMNC, that we were casting the PMNC together, and these were the three teams who had landed the same drop location, and now they are against each other. Now, Ekta Esports just went towards the northern side of the George Pool area, and we all know that that is one of the best area if you want to collect some good amount of loot. But look at the circle; it just formed towards the eastern side, northeastern side of the map, and goes Esports. Anish, he's just up against one single player, and this is going to be an easy fight because he found one AKM. And we all know if your opponent has no helmet, if you have no helmet, then one bullet can knock you down. And Ayush is in a bit of trouble, but look at that M16 burst shots can take down one, but he wasn't able to confirm that kill, and that's why he got punished. And the first blood is in front of our eyes. Anish, secure the first blood of the game.
Well, the first blood right there, but
Wow.
Lucky, what are you doing? Oh, that was seen out of a movie right there. But quite
Oh,
careful. All right. He was quite careful with how we want to take down MVP, but there's the second finish of the game, ladies and gentlemen. Just to drive over, Lucky almost messing it up. Uh, I mean, had it been an IRL scenario, that would have been well, a horrible accident, but still, Lake just surviving because of the fact that I have to say none of the teammates from the side of Hellraisers were present quite close. Like Jayush was finished off, MVP was caught off guard, and just Jolt, I believe, was present quite close but with no weapons in his hand. So just capitalizing on the fact that they were able to get some things in their hands to deal out the extra damage in the early stages. But over on the other side, Hellraisers, let's talk about them. But as we
Yeah.
mentioned, there's definitely going to be a little bit of pressure on the players that are performing. They jumped into the server with a three-man lineup. And now two players have taken out just that last player still surviving. Just Dolt. We do see him quite close to the ruins, back on the other side of the ruins area.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's going to be in this game for long.
Totally agree with that point, Johnny, because right now he's the final player, and we can say he's the last player surviving from the side of Hellraisers. But if we talk about the rotation, right, what he can do at this moment, if he went towards, if he just moved towards the Rozhok area, then at that position, 7G, they can punish him if they want to, if they, if they literally caught him off guard. But if we just move towards the Severny area, then Kutumba, these team, this particular team, the players, Spidey as well as we can say Rumin, if they spots him out, then he's going to be in a bit of trouble. But one thing I just want to mention, and that is the safest way to move inside the circle is to just move towards the ruin area and just continue your journey till like just go towards a school, then just land towards, and we can say just stop towards that mansion, because that is going to be the safest way if you just want to move inside the circle while staying alive.
Well, let's see if they're going to be able to stay alive or not. Because, as you said, I mean, that is going to be a big question at this point. But I believe Team Goza Esports, they have quite a wonderful position inside of the game since they have managed to take early control of the eastern lands for themselves. And there's absolutely no one to contest them for, I believe, the next 3 to 4 minutes. No one is going to move into these positions. But Peasant, we do see him level 1 armor all shot up down to around 30% HP. Priority number 1 for him is just going to be to heal up and then move towards the skill positions that they find themselves in the city towards the extreme eastern shorelines. That is going to be Lipovka. And well, they can hold on to these compounds, this city, for the next 10 minutes.
Like, you know what, Lipovka is one of the best location in this circle, because it's a northeastern circle, and they'll enjoy that particular area for a bit too long. But let's talk about this team, Raw. This team, they were at the first position in the PMNC. They won PMNC basically, and they defeated JyanMaara. At that time, JyanMaara, they literally overcommitted, and that's why they got punished. But right now, they don't have their star player who was so good in the group stages as well as in the finals. He was the top fragger. But right now, I'm sure the players Mama, Shawl, Rig, and Rage, they are quite confident, and they'll just continue their journey. But seven global thoughts. This is a new team, and let's see how this team is going to perform. Right now, they have 0 kills, but they are focusing on those early rotations. This is the good part. Like, this is the best part, Johnny. If you just want to test the waters, just focus on your rotation. Just play your natural game.
Well, I mean, that's exactly what you have to do. You have to play a natural game. You have to play the best the play style that you know to the best of your ability. And if you do that
Yeah.
consistently, things are going to work out in the end. But I mean, it's going to be quite interesting to see what Seven Global Hug, what their natural game style is going to look like in this lobby. In fact, as Snoopy and Trayton are right now in those vehicles for themselves, and this team they're stuck out in the open for now, though. But I believe it's not going to be too difficult for them to find those cover for themselves. Let's see exactly when that is going to happen. Meanwhile, Xtreme Esports or Salt finding a good compound for himself. His teammates are closing in from the backline, but they need to be careful because the players from the side of Trust process are not too far away.
Yup, TDP, this team is one of the best. But as I just mentioned, right now the players from TDP, they are towards the shelter area, and right now they have the height advantage. But H2O Esports, the players have those compounds so that they can just stay inside those compounds and to make an extra cover. But look at that, Ekta Esports, they just spots down Cyanide behind that electricity tower, and they are searching for him. They are just looking out for him. Where is he? The important part is He has his buggy just very close to him. If he got spotted out, then he can do the only thing he can do is he will start firing some bullets on top of the players of Ekta Esports. Or the second option, which is going to be the difficult option, or which is not going to be the best option for him, just run away. Because it is going to be impossible for you right now. Because two players already penciled you down behind that particular area, and you're just hiding behind that one single tower. The cover is quite less, and I don't think so that he has much utilities so that he can survive for too long.
Oh yeah, Cyanide is definitely in the world of trouble, especially since he's going up against OHR Esports. Chante hasn't pinned down Miracle from the other side, but Cyanide, he was pinned down from every single direction. And what is Lake up to in this game? Is he
True.
playing a different game mode or something? I believe he just drove over someone else as well, or maybe that was just sort of a deja vu from the early stages of the game. We're gonna find out. If he's
Yeah.
driven over two people, I'm definitely going to be really impressed.
He's just playing a driving simulator at this moment, and in this particular Erangel
Well,
match. But
if that's the case, that's not how you're supposed to drive, man.
I totally agree with that point. That ruthless. But right now, CN Esports, they lost their one player, Cyanide, and he usually collect a lot of information. He just basically plays a role of a scout, and right now they lost him. Now, they're just going to focus on this particular three-man lineup. The important part is here inside the circle, and that's the best part. But teams like Elementrix, they just got only $500 from PMNC, and they are here to prove that yup, they are the best. They are just playing in the PMCO, and they are up against some of the best team, Raw, TDP, HUO. In fact, TRP Flow as well. Now, if we talk about the rotation, look at that. Ozu, he's so far away from his team, but his role is way more important than any other player because he is just the path he's covering is the same path his teammates are following. So basically, he is just collecting a lot of information and he's just feeding that information that yep, this area is safe. You can come along from the same direction. I'm moving, and then we are safe, and then we can move inside the circle. But the important part is if they're gonna just continue this journey from the Milta area, it might possible they end up in a fight.
Well, maybe they might just end up in a fight, and that's going to be quite interesting to see how Mr. Yuzu is going to back off from the initial aggression.
Oh
But there it is,
no.
ladies and gentlemen, the first squad wipe of the game. The last lad from the side of Hellraisers, that was just Joe getting caught off guard and finished off by the players from the side of Strangers. But now down to 15 teams, 58 players alive in this match. It will be quite difficult to call what the next fight is going to be, but I believe Elementrix, for them to actually jump into action, is going to be a while. It's much more likely that we're going to see a fight break out towards the prison area. Because, I mean, first of all, it's quite open. Second of all, it's too open for the teams to be actually present at those locations. You try and rotate, there's definitely going to be some action. And as I said, we are heading towards the side where Viz is with Wives actually already taking on the players of PRP, and it's quite interesting to see how these lads actually do want to take these fights. Because as I said, it is going to be an open area situation. If you try and go into some cover and try and take the fight like that, your opponent is just going to get away and you're going to get no kills.
And look at that goal. He was so close to one single team. In Delta, he spots out one player firing a lot of bullets, but the speed of that vehicle is so fast. I think he literally drive away. Just he was so fast right now, and he's just joining his team. They are slowly and steadily regrouping, and they are moving inside the circle. Now, Rules, sir, he has good control of this particular compound. Rebel, right now, he's just hiding inside the shack with his Scarl, and he has a level 3 West and a level 2 hit. Kind of a best combination right now. But as just mentioned, the prison area is one of the deadliest area inside the circle.
Well, let's see. I mean, it is going to be quite deadly, though, especially for Rules right now, as he's going to try and get away from these compounds. His teammate on the other side of the ridges. Rules is definitely take a few shots on him, but with the buggy just whizzing in and out, as it says in the name, he is going to get away from the aggression that was displayed on him from the players of Kalio. But I have to say, to be fair enough, Vibes were the one who started that fight. So
Yeah.
Kalio retaliating was like, it was fair.
Oh, what?
Wow, nice. shift towards Yasna. That's exactly what we wanted. Because now look at this. Look at the eastern side of the circle.
Yeah.
There's basically 80% of the teams towards the east, and there's just three teams in the center, four teams inside the circle, two teams on the edges. Everyone else is just holding on to those eastern edges. I mean, URS is still in Lipovka. So things are definitely going to be really intense from this point onwards, as everyone is going to be pouring or heading, in fact, in the western direction. But we do have fights already breaking out, and one of those fights is actually happening towards the Minta side as well, as we see Loki OP taken out by Rebel. But over on the other side, towards Mansion, H2O looks like they're going to be in some trouble, as this formation against the players of Goza, it's not looking good.
Yeah. Because as you just mentioned, the formation is 2+1 and Goza Esports. Prasant spots down Tara, and right now he's just cooking one grenade. This could be lethal. No, he overcooked that. That's why he just cancelled it. And right now he's not sure where is the player. But on the other side, we can see that Raw, they are engaging with the players of Krypton. And this is one of the best fight because these two teams are inside the circle. Krypton just moved towards the western area, and now they are so happy with this zone because they are end up with that team who has a lot of experience. But that rotation, that was not necessary. One player of Krypton, he just got off guard in an open area, and that's why he got punished. But Prasant, he's still waiting. He has a lot of information. But after this, the most important thing is if the zone just moves away, they have to focus on those early rotations. Look at that. Prasant is providing a lot of cover to his teammate. H2O not in a good position right now because one player just got stuck inside that one compound.
I agree. I mean, that stuck in the compound right there. This is going to be installed. Who is getting charged upon at this point? Oh, he counter pushed it. This is going to be wonderful. Assault getting a really wonderful knock right there. And
What?
it looks like there's been a massive mistake being made by the players of Goza. They did not anticipate that Assault was, in fact, just like his name said, going to assault. And that was something out of the ordinary. And those are the kind of moves that actually win you those fights. And now, all of a sudden, as we were talking about the players of H2O being in a bad spot, this fight is theirs to win. They can just easily finish off the players from Goza, just two players remaining, and just walk away with those tokens in their name.
As I just mentioned, they never anticipated this, but right now, Salt he just collected 2 kills, and now he's just going to collect that loot as well. But Tara, he's still holding the biggest building in the mansion area. And Goza, they are forced to fall back because they lost 2 players in a very interesting fight. At the moment, I thought that is going to be their fight. It is going to be their movement, and it's going to be very difficult for Assault. But those grenades, as well as that early charge, in literally worked down his favor. Now, look at that. Elementrix are inside the circle, so as the players of Raw and Krypton as well. Now, they're having a good time, but for how long? Because we can see OHR, Ekta Esports also moving inside the circle, and they are controlling, and they have good control of these 3 buildings, which is inside the circle. And if they're gonna hold these compounds for so long, they will collect a lot of kills.
I mean, let's see. I mean, how many kills will these lads be able to pick up? Because it's going to be quite important that they do. As mentioned, they have a good position, they have good cover, they have the advantage, while every other team is going to be charging out in the open. But I have to say, the most interesting position right now has to be of Elementary. They are stuck inside that dip. They have the players of Raw right in front, and the flank has been taken over as well. So it's going to be really difficult for them to actually come out from full-on squad fight. But Kalyug, on the other direction, just giving a lot of trouble to the players of PWP's Flow. Ryzen is taken down, and I believe Clone's grenade was perfect right there to dish out a little bit more damage to the opponent. On the other side, the rest of the lads from the side of PWP's Flow finding themselves in an awkward spot and just running into an even worse one. They just charged towards that shack because I believe the players thought there is going to be some concrete cover available to them. But the players of Kali again are looking to stop a lot of utility being tossed in that direction. And also the fact that the players of Trust the Process are in the backlines is going to be enough to make at least the players of PWP panic just a little bit. And there it is to Jan, another knock being secured by the players of Kali. They're looking to finish things off. Jack, he's going to be out in the open, and look at that assault going on a domination. 3 kills secured. I believe the fight against Goja is going to come to an end soon.
Yeah, but right now, this particular team, they are up against TDP, and look at that. Okay, that was Molly. So Jackie barely surviving from that Molly, but that grenade was so perfect. Okay, it was a little bit far away, but I thought that was going to be the perfect grenade. But Sujan, the revival was initiated, but just because of that grenade, the kill got confirmed. Clone, he got Grenadier title, but look at that. His DP28 spray was so good. Now, TDP, they are in a bit of trouble because they have that cover, but the important part is they don't have a solid cover. Now, Trape spots down one player, he just forced him to back off, and Sojak on the other side, he's just bleeding out slowly, but he's bleeding out, and okay, Shoaib just confirmed his kill, basically, he stole that kill, and that's the best part. He received some amount of damage, but now he's in the cover.
Well, the team is side cover. They are going to be safe for the next few moments, but let's see. 7 global thugs on the other side. TDP was tossing a lot of grenades on the players of QRS, and he's still going to find a knock. He's going to be really low in terms of how much HP he has. Put it on the first stage from the flank right and getting the finish. Underrated rookies getting finished off on the 15th position. Quite unfortunate right there, but he's going to have to run out in the open to revive his fallen comrade. Now, this team, 7 global thugs, they're down to a 3-man lineup as well as they lost one of the lads in the early stages, but on the other direction, TDP, what just happened to the players of TDP? H2O just finishing the whole squad in a matter of seconds. That fight just started and now it's already done.
Assault, he was the one who initiated that fight, and after a little bit, after a couple of minutes, then that fight just got stopped, and after, again, couple of minutes, it just ended so perfectly. H2O, this team is looking unstoppable. Look at that. They have the height advantage. Kalik on the other again, they're up against the PMCO, but now it is a 2v1 situation in favor of Kalyev. Shoaib just using a mini 14 in this circle. This is the 5th circle, and he's just 5 meters far away from the circle, so there's not going to be that difficult part for him. But Elementrix, they are still surviving.
Well, Elementrix is still going to be surviving, and they're still going to be holding quite strong. But let's see. It is going to be quite interesting to look how Elementrix actually do make it to the late game stages. As I said, this team is completely exposed and smack in the center of the circle. The only thing that's working out for Elementrix at this point is just the fact that the rest of the squads are busy fighting amongst themselves. On the other side, H2O doing a wonderful job. 9 kills already secured, but look at this. Mr. Yusu, I believe, has spotted out a few players from the side of GURKHA Esports. Who are trying to see if they can cross the ridge and control this dip for them. Wow, that is 4 grenades perfectly synced. Creighton is getting finished off. Carl bleeding out as well. This nade is going to do the job, and as soon as it blows up, all right, now they're just overshooting everything. that is just an underthrow. All right, so he's just laying down the switch. What is going on with the players? Now, finally, they clean up and finish off the players of 7 global thugs.
Yep, and they literally eliminated 2 teams in a row, and they have 12 kills in their name. In fact, basically, you can say almost 3 teams. But Elementrix on the other side, plus just making sure that he can make some extra cover so that he can survive for a bit too long, because they are inside the circle. PRP slow, they got eliminated at the 13th position without securing a single point. Lone just stepping up against the players of H2O, 7 global thugs. They also got eliminated at the 12th position, but again, that grenade from the side of Miracle was amazing. Knocked out 1, but he just want to confirm that kill again. Dropping another utilities, a lot of utilities being tossed by the players of Ekta Esports. Poco, he still survived behind that tree, but just, oh my goodness, that grenade from the side of Shawl was again amazing, but Krypton, they are not looking good, Johnny.
Well, Krypton is definitely not looking good. Inkis is the last place surviving. He's going to try and see if he can push forward, but now finally the name everyone was waiting to see on the kill feed. Raw Official getting the opening right there. Elementrix, they're going to be eliminated from this game. 8-2-0, 12 kills already secured by the team, and all 4 players of the squad are still alive. Krypton, alright, so as soon as the revive happens, the Molotov, they avoided it just by mere pixels. But I believe the luck has run out for the squad as Ekta Esports, they charge in, get the two easiest kills they could have gotten in this entire game, and then just walk away. But now Ekta Esports need to be careful because on the other side of the ridge, Raw Official, the players are going to be waiting for them. Rick and his teammates, he's prepping up the nades, cooking them up, and will, in fact, decide not to toss them to players. If Ekta Esports are falling back, we will be rotating from the other side. Both these teams are outside the circle right now, so they will have to rethink their decision and the game plan as to how they want to approach the opening.
Sean on the other side, notice that rotation. He's got some player while they moving inside the circle. His Empire is playing the shot, but Dash Strange is on the other side. They got eliminated at the 8th position. The players from the side of CN, they were surviving, but now they also takes an exit from the lobby. KY, this team is still surviving. H2O. Oh my goodness, look at that. Players are still there, but they are knocked out. Psycho on the other side just want to burn down that vehicle so that he can collect some more kills. But Lone Soldier instantly moving up towards this player, and he needs a revival. Shoaib, I don't think so that he has a smoke, and Psycho, he's not stopping. He's keep on firing, but Rule is so good. Goza, they got eliminated by that one single grenade. What?
Well, I mean, it's going to be quite interesting to see how the player is going to be moving forward, but definitely a wonderful nade right there. On the other side, Vibe still present inside this match, and I mean, the players from the side of Vibes, Malik and Rebel, putting up a lot of pressure on the players of Raw Official as Rage was knocked out. A few more grenades being lobbed in their direction, but the revive has happened by Mama. And after the players heal up, they're going to look to see how they want to approach this fight. But Psycho, definitely doing a wonderful job, just making sure that his team is still going to be present and a part of the top 3 teams of this game. Now, this actually works out quite nicely in the favor of H2O since I mean they have a lot of kills, and just the fact that they're going to be in the top 3, it gives them a really good start to today's day.
But look at that. Greg received a lot of damage from the Molly, and his health is going down. Now he's barely surviving on 30% HP. But look at that. Delta, he's still on the front lines, dealing up with the players of Raw. But Reg, he's on now 75% HP, cooking up some grenades. But Psycho from the side of H2O Esports, he's still surviving. He's 60 meters far away from the zone, and he has only 30 seconds on the clock. He's slowly crawling inside the circle, unnoticed till now, but Rules, sir, his position, it is going to be amazing. It's going to play an important role for this particular team.
Well, it will be quite an important role for this particular team, as you said. But let's see, Psycho, the gas tank being dropped out as well. He's going to lob out a few smokes, but the game has come to a standstill in the final stages. And let's see. Wiz with Vibes, too busy with the players of Raw Official. Mama has been spotted out by Delta, but he's waiting to see if he can spot out another one. The more information that you have against in a squad fight, the more it's going to help you out. But you need to be careful as well. Delta just being cautious, laying out a few more smokes as he's a bit too overextended. Mama still just trying to see if he can hit the reds. Needs to be extremely cautious when he does that, because Delta is going to be the first man to take those shots based on how many players are. Oh, he's already started, in fact, and now his position is going to be revealed inside the smoke as well. Look at this, look at Shaw. He's just moving up quite smart, using the small cover as he moves into the fight. Delta getting taken out. There's the opening that Raw Official needed. Now Rebel in the backline, Malik heading around the walk as well, but Shaw going to charge towards the right is going to spot out Rebel, the first player he takes out right after Delta. Malik is down to HP. Raw Official with an amazing advantage, but in the meanwhile, H2 Esports getting eliminated from this game, and that's just going to be one thing that Raw, ladies and gentlemen, ruthless, aggressive Warriors is getting the first second dinner of day number 2 of PMCO Finals 2021. Quite an amazing song. 7 kills, bringing them inside the top 11 straight away right on the first stage. But I want to see, as far as the match standings are concerned, is this going to be enough to beat the players of H? Oh,
Good question, Johnny, and I'm eagerly waiting for that too. But look at that, 22 points from a single match, 1144 damage dished out by this particular team. But if I'm not wrong, I think so H2O they secured more than 10 kills from this particular match, and that's why Octopus, he is the MVP from this match. He secured 5 kills, he dished out 653 damage, his survival time is 21 minutes 30 seconds, 2 assists, and 163 healing them again.
Well, it was, I mean, quite a wonderful performance, I have to say. 5 kills too as well, with the number of damage that was just out. So it was just efficiency on his part, making sure that whatever damage he's dished out was definitely converted to some kills his way. But I want to see how the rest of the players out of H2O actually did, because there was one of the, one more player that made it to extreme late game stages. But looking at the top 4 players in the game, we have one from the side of Kalyo with 3 kills and 836 damage secured. Then we have Wizzes with Vibes, Malik along with Shoaib from Kalyug, and Roots from Wizzes with Vibes as well. All these players, very decent performance, especially from the side of Vibes, since they actually made it to the top 3 inside of this match.
Quite interesting performance. But let's talk about the match summary. Octopus has the highest amount of kills, but Nan, he secured the longest distance kill from the side of TDP Clone. He dished out the highest amount of damage. Psycho used the highest amount of utilities, and Psycho is the person who gave highest amount of assists to his teammates. But Clone and Shoaib, we saw that the players from Kalyug, this duo as well as this combination, the players have a lot of synergy, that they were up against a team who has all the 4 players alive. I'm talking about H2O. It was so great. It was so confident that they were taking the fight against the players of H2O. In fact, they almost won that fight, but it was Psycho who destroyed their dreams. But we have the match ranking in front of us. H2O secured the highest amount of points.
Well, I mean, 24 points, 14 kills for H2O Esports. Quite an impressive game. And I believe if they are just starting out right now, it's going to be so fun to watch what the rest of the matches from this team are going to look like. Ruthless Aggressive Warriors, Raw on the other side, 22 points. Business with Vibe, 1-1. So impressive performance from these lads as well. But I feel like, I'm always going to say this, I expect more from Ekta Esports. Come on, lads. You can deliver. I know these guys can. And the same can be said for Elemental and Kira Peace as well. Kira Peace, it's a bit surprising to see them get taken out so early. But I mean, they were just caught completely off guard in the middle of rotation. There was nothing they could have done about that fight.
As I mentioned about the point rotations, in this particular match, the map rotation was crazy, but those early fights was insane, and we saw 2 run over. But H2O Esports, this duel from the side of Assault, it was amazing. But Kalyug, why they lost that one particular player, I think so, if I'm not wrong, it was Sui, and he was rotating. When he was moving inside the circle, the players from the side of H2O Esports, they caught him off guard, just delivered a lot of damage, and that's why he got knocked out, and then they confirmed that kill. And after that, they end up in a fight up against each other in the final circle, despite of that fact that the fight was amazing. But if we talk about the first from the side of Raw Official, they were outside the zone, busy with the vibes, they were inside the circle, but that over-aggression from the side of Shawl, it was unnecessary, Johnny, to be honest, to be on the safer side.
Alrighty, I mean, you can call it unnecessary, but still, it was worth it in the end, right? It got them the points that they needed. But I mean, it is going to be quite interesting to see how actually these squads decide to towards the rest of the competition, because JyanMaara still have a massive advantage, and that is what we want to see. A team that is playing to actually move up the standings and contest JyanMaara, and H2 Esports, official other 2 teams that might make that happen, along with players with Wizzes with White. They have one of the strongest starts you could ask for, all these 3 teams, starting off with 20 points to themselves. This is why 21, 22, and 8 to go with 24. So there's definitely going to be an opportunity, but the rest of the squad, they have to see if they will be able to recover in the first day itself, because once again, ladies and gentlemen, a reminder to the new lads joining in, only the top 15 move forward. Not the 16, the top 15.
Yeah, only top 15 teams will move forward for the finals, and Scarlet Gaming then join those top 15. But the important part is with Vibes, they have an upper advantage in the fight, but they lost that pick and but still they secured 22 points from a single match. That's the best thing. The important part is Elementrix. They are at the 25th position with only 23, with only basically
Yeah.
with only 3 points, Johnny. So we never expected this from this type of team who has a lot of experience, who just played all like almost every single PMCO, and this squad has one of the best players from the Nepal region. Their gun power is insane. Their synergy is also insane. Just because of that, their position was a little bit off. They got punished.
I mean, yeah, exactly. The positioning being a bit off and the punish definitely being present. But still, there is the opportunity for the squad to recover. I mean, three more matches left. The next one is going to be Miramar, ladies and gentlemen. And it's going to be quite interesting to watch what sort of consistency, even if you see a level of consistency from these players, what that is going to look like. But before the next match, we're going to take a very short break. So stay tuned, keep watching. We'll be right back after.
Here we go now.
Are you keeping it real? I'm calling shotgun, wanna see my baby run. Oh, what's the word on the sea? Kicking up the dust, you know what I mean. We got a good thing going. We got a good thing going on.
Here we go now.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Here we go again. Welcome to the PUBG Mobile Club Open Fall Split 2021, brought to you by the OPF Indian Pro Johnny, joined by Phoenix is this side. And it is time
Uh,
for match number two, ladies and gentlemen. We will be jumping into the battle round of Miramar, which is going to be super fun, but with Raw Official whizzes with vibes and the squad of H2O having an amazing start to the day. What do you guys think is going to happen in this map? I want to hear from our audience as well first. Like, you guys can let us know in the chat. Just spam the name of the team that is supporting. But along with that, Phoenix, what do you think? Who do you think is going to walk away with the most points in this game?
I still go with Disease with Life because, despite of the fact they got eliminated at the second match, but
Yeah.
still, they collected some decent amount of points. But H2O, that the fight was as well as their aggression was on point. But their first and their only, we can say their only enemy
Yeah.
was Kalyog, the players from the side of Kalyog. the two lads was like great wall against this team as well as securing good amount of points because they literally annihilated three players uh, from that one particular team. The important part is H2 has still secured 24 total points. Now this is going to be the Miramar map, and we all know early fights are not that common in Miramar.
Well, yeah, early fights are not that common. During the mid game is where we usually tend to see the game sort of uh, picking up the pace in terms of the aggression. But I have to say, if you would ask me my opinion on what the
Oh yeah,
teams are going to do inside of this game, I would say Raw Official will definitely have another wonderful match for themselves because Raw Official, we know they just have one intention, and their intention is quite clear to just challenge JyanMaara. So it's going to be quite interesting to witness basically how this team will go up against their rivals. But in the meanwhile, we do have the trajectory of the plane starting from the southwestern edge of the map, going all the way towards Impala. So the plane directly, I mean, quite heavily, in fact, leaning towards the southern parts of the map. Anyone going towards the side of El Pozo, El Azar, Hacienda will have a little bit of a troublesome situation, but it's not going to be uh, that bad that, I mean, you will be risking getting taken out early. Still, we'll be able to get there, although it's going to be a bit of a challenge.
it is going to be a bit of a challenge. But I just want to mention one thing, Johnny, and I just want to ask one question from you that now odds are when you use the west side of the map up against the players of PDP. Just before this match, they were against Raw Official as well as another team, but they were not engaging in early fights. But what do you think? What is the reason behind it?
Well, to be honest, I have no idea. I mean, because everything changes from tournament to tournament, from match to match. There's a little bit of information that gets picked up on, so there's something that, I mean, looks different in game, and the players might be able to change, and that can change basically everything inside of the match. And that is something that makes this game really really exciting. Because I mean, if you look what's going on right now, towards the west. I believe we will have a bit of an early collision between the players of TDP and Xtreme Esports, and it should be quite interesting to watch. But over on the other side, it looks like Kalyuk's clone is actually caught off guard by Kutashi and Kutumba getting the first finish of the match already. Look at that. So, again, something we did not expect.
It was boxing fight. You know, it at that the players won that fight, but Kalyug, they lost one player and it is Cyclone again. They lost at one particular player in a very early stage, so it is going to be up against these three players how they are going to play in this map. So they just dropped down near the San Martin area because they didn't use San Martin area while using the buses and the money truck and those vehicles. They are rotating towards San Martin area and they will collect some fruit from this particular area. But they have to be careful while taking some fights because they just brought down to the players and we all know the more manpower you have, the more chances are there to win a fight. If we talk about this particular team, which are AKA Esports, this team is so dominant throughout the PMNC that we expect, yep, they are going to win the finals, but no, that was not the case. And right now, the same thing is happening in PMCO.
Well, yeah, same thing's happening in the PMCO at this point, but I mean, things can definitely take a turn anytime. That's something that you always have to be prepared for. And I believe right at this moment, for things to take a turn for the positive, it is going to be for the side of Hellraisers. I'm sorry, as they have their fourth player finally inside this game. Last match they tried to go with a three-man roster, but failed quite miserably as they were taken out early on in the game. But this time with the four-man roster, let's see what the team will be able to accomplish. Although, as I did talk about the fifth instead of trusty process, so they started off from the western point of the map, and now I believe they're just heading towards the circle. 700 meters quite away. Aku just making a sort of a slight mistake right there, just exiting uh, the vehicle a little too quick, taking a little bit of damage. But I believe since they don't have anyone getting quite close to them, they will have the opportunity to heal up and then maybe just find some cover, reset, and then move forward.
But which is just mentioned about this, Johnny, that now they're playing with the tournament lineup. Now they will focus on those fights, and especially those mid-stage fight. Now, elementary, obviously, we have to talk about them because they are the OG, we can say, from the Nepal region, and they secured only 2 points, ladies and gentlemen. Just only 2 points from the previous match. This is not their type of play style. We witnessed that aggression, those early skirmishes, and literally dominating that team. If there's any team in front of them, we love to witness those type of fights, but they are not going for those type of stuff. They're just playing like little bit just a position play style, or we can say to focus on those position points, but not focusing on the skill play. But let's see how we're going to witness that. But I saw one player from Split Esports. He got knocked out by falling from the high ground. Okay.
Well, over on the other side, though, you have the players of CN who are going to take a few shots from Just Dolt, but the shots did not connect. And now Hellraisers have just revealed their position to Wizard, who, I mean, is not going to be able to accomplish much, but now he knows in which direction he needs to be careful. This is so risky. Why are you running out in the open like that? Hellraisers need to find those vehicles as soon as possible. Otherwise, the players will be so easy to finish off right now. And also, I mean, they're so far away from each other.
This type of split in Miramar, sometimes it works, but sometimes it can backfire on you as well. As you just mentioned, players are running out in an open area without using a vehicle, and we all know the map is pretty huge, and you need those vehicles so that you can focus on rotations. GM Esports, if we talk about this, we secured just 7 or 5 points from the previous match. They are kind of a hard for the day, but they have to be consistent so that they can continue their journey in the finals. And look at that, Aqua side, he's using on the truck and driving that truck so perfectly. Lost nearness is their drop position, and right now they're just moving a little bit more towards the center of the circle. A viable option for you. You can hold the center of the circle, and you can rule, or you can rule the circle as well as you can hold a lot of fights. If you want, you can collect a lot of kills. But the point is, you need a good gun and scopes, especially in this Miramar.
Well, definitely, as you said. I mean, guns, I believe these lads are capable of using anything they have in their hands. Scopes is something that's going to be quite important, especially if you want to spray down people at longer distances. But let's see CN Esports after just, well, I would say just hints of engagement that were put upon them in the early stages by the players of Hellraisers. They do enjoy the luxury of being completely isolated right now. But early stages of Miramar, ladies and gentlemen, still no fights happening. Although, as Kutumba have already taken down one player from the side of Kalyo, I believe now they want to take down another one as they have spotted out players on the other side of the ridges. But engaging is definitely going to be a challenge, and I believe in Kutumba, they are going to be careful about it.
Yeah, they are surely careful about this because we can see that they are moving inside the circle. They're just moving towards their enemies slowly and steadily, not over aggressive them, not over aggressing basically. Look at that. The ERS versus the players of Hellraisers. This was the first team who got eliminated as the first person in the previous match, which was Erangel. But right now, they're being careful. Look at that. All the 4 players are pretty close to each other, but just all being a little bit more aggressive. And we can see that this team, they are hungry for some kills. And seeing he was behind the rock, right, in the safe spot, but I can not say the same thing for Spark.
Well, let's see. I mean, Spark, he does manage to get away quite easily since there were ridges present to give him some cover, and Just Dolt now a little bit too far away from his teammates. Might just be in a bit of trouble, needs to fall back inside the dropouts before the players of URS actually jump into action and start engaging. But let's see. It is going to be quite interesting to see what Hellraisers will be able to accomplish as I believe they do have decent cover for themselves at this point. All they need to do is not to be over eager to jump into those fights.
Yes. That is going to be the most important part, Johnny, because if you're just over aggressive despite the fact you have the cover, but sometimes if any team decide that they are going to do a third party of any player is on flank angle, they can punish you really hard. But we have the airdrop in front of us. We have that AUG, one of the we can see one of the best weapon. But players usually still prefer M4 once it's on AUGs just because of the recoil control and the muscle memory. But Ross Mitchell, this team was secured second in on the previous match, just moving towards the circle, just making sure that they will have a comfortable victory, or we can say a journey in this map as well. Prepon Esports. I just want to talk about their routine, right? Usually drop down near the western area, and then then they just continue their journey towards the circle. Then they just move towards the circle while staying on the edge. And right now they are doing the same thing, but from the east side.
Well, let's see. I mean, it's going to be quite interesting to see what the east side is going to look like for the squad. But the Winfreds on the other side don't even have to think about where they're going to get engaged from, as there is a team right on Orange's track. It is H2O, a squad that you're definitely going to have to watch out for. And Orange, he's Usain Bolt at this point, taking a run for it. And he managed to get away, actually. Quite nice right there. There absolutely no resistance, no even attempt from the side of H2O to try and see if they can take him down. And Orange did not even look back. His teammates, they had him. They were providing, they were sort of scoped into those positions, keeping an eye just in case someone from the side of H2O actually tried to peek. They would have instantly taken them down. But Orange is doing a wonderful job bringing himself to safety. And now Elemental, I would say, are in a slightly better position than 2 minutes before.
Totally agree with that point, Johnny, because they have that upper advantage, and we saw that few of the players from Elementrix, they are using E14s with the 8 times, and we all know this is the deadliest weapon in this Miramar. Liquid on the other side, he has that Thompson with the extended back. That's why he has 50 bullets, and he's using SKS. Again, not an ideal choice of weapon, but still, if you're going to use it perfectly, then you are the best.
Well, as you said, if you know how to use it perfectly, you're definitely going to be a massive, massive threat to your opponents. But let's see what sort of a position we're going to see from the circle next. And now we're talking. A northern shift, an extreme north shift towards the side of Hacienda del Patron and water treatment, and everyone is going to be moving up north from the southern parts of the map. We do have a massive cluster towards Minas Generales, Graveyard, Picado, and it is going to be a tough decision for the teams to make based on how exactly they want to take an exit. It's us from the side of Elementrix trying to see if we can connect the shots from 2014 onto the players of H2O. Assault does take a slight hit right there, but I don't think he's going to be worried about that. That's not enough damage to do basically accomplish anything.
That was not enough damage to at least take down one vehicle, but connecting those one taps from a moving vehicle right now, in a moving vehicle, if your opponent is in a vehicle and he's so fast and connecting some sort, it's going to be a little bit difficult for you. But right now, Liquid just jumped from that cliff early. I saw that one single kill. Orange is going to play and able to connect the shot, and that is not going to help him. But they're 300 meters far away from the road. As I just mentioned earlier, that Krypton, they love those, they love those late rotations, as well as they love those, just being on the edge of the safe zone. They love those play style. They love, I literally love them basically. So the main thing is they're just moving from the edge of the safe zone, from the eastern side of the circle, and they are inside the circle right now. They are inside the safe zone, and the important part is they can gatekeep for some of the teams who are coming to the south side of the zone.
Well, let's see. I mean, there's going to be a lot of teams coming from the southern side, so just gatekeeping those teams, this is going to be a tough job. But talking about tough decisions and tough jobs, right now, it is going to be a tough job for the players of Goza actually to finish off this entire team of Hellraisers. They do have an opening for themselves. The players are a little bit far away from each other, and also they have a lot of bridges to hide behind. On the other side, the utility is being committed to this fight, and MVP is going to find an opening. In fact, a trade. Just Dolt is going to be down on his knees again. So it's going to be quite interesting to see if the fight is going to move any further from this point on. And
Yeah.
even though, I mean, there's an advantage to the players of Goes, they have to be careful. There are lads right on the other side of the ridge. Anish just holding his ground. Just Old has been revived. It's going to be a 4v4 situation again. And the players on the side of Hellraiser is they're trying to use the utility to protect him, but that is not going to work out. And he brings out the smoke is finally going to be taken down from the flank. Oh, not in fact. And he takes down two. Now MVP is going to be the last player surviving from the side of Hellraisers, and I believe not for long. Hellraisers, they're just about to get wiped up as well. The last player in the back lines goes up, falling back just a little bit. MVP, although, has done a phenomenal job of making sure that the trades were coming for him. He's taken out two players from the side of Goza. And now, if he gets one more, it will be down to a 1-versus-1 situation. But first, this is going to be a tough decision for him to make. If he decides to go for a revive, he can actually, in fact, be finished off. And there it is.
Oh, no!
The shots coming in from Anish, and Hellraisers, they get taken out. That was a bad decision to go for a revive. Should have just kept on going, because the players from San Rosa were in fact quite low, and it would have been a much easier situation for him to deal with.
And you know what? MVP, he has that hell advantage. It was a 1v2 fight. Well, I've won that, but no, that's not the case. But at this position, we saw that Hellraisers, they take an exit at the 16th position. But the good thing is, now they secured at least 2 points in the back. Snoopy with his M416, basically with the Scarlet and the 4 times on it. Spots now one player, knocked him down in an open area. Now 7 global thugs also moving inside the circle, but they are still 600 meters far away from the safe zone, and they are up against the players of PUBG Slow. Now, if they're gonna move inside the circle, now they're gonna face a lot of problems. Why, Johnny? Because KRP Slow, they are also moving inside the circle, and they will continue their journey a little bit more safe than we compare it from 7 global thugs.
Well, let's see. I mean, they will have to be safe. They will have to be extra cautious. I agree with that. But will they? That is going to be a question. That can change everything. Over on the other side there, we do have the players of Esports going on. Well, a little bit of grenade skill display. They're just finding an open for themselves. 7 global thugs. Meow boy taking a lot of hits from the back lines, and here please Flow finding an opening. The second one is going to be available to them as well. As Sajan, I believe, has poured out the rest of the lads, and Ronak and Ryzen are just charging towards the players of 7 global thugs. That's not where you're supposed to stop the vehicle, and it's instantly going to blow up. Ryzen getting punished for that.
Look at that, Ronak. Now he got stuck behind that rock. 3 players are up against him. Now, they are trading those grenades, but I don't think so that he can find a single opening with that one grenade. But that AK worked out perfectly. This is a 1v3 situation, and Ronak goes down. Now, he's just going to secure that one kill, and this just going to move back because they have to be careful, because all the 3 teammates hiding behind this one thick tree. And now, Kunal is doing this best thing he can, because he's just making sure that he can make some extra cover as well as to block out the vision of their opponents. Now, the 4th circle is closing in. Look at the position of the other 2 players of Kira Peaceflow. They are inside the circle, but Elementrix stepping up, finally, collecting some kills. Now, this fight is going to be legendary, because look at that. The main building inside Hacienda del Teto. This white have control of this. How long? Because the zone is also start moving away. They start closing in.
Well, let's see. I mean, as you said, the zone is going to start moving in, but it is going to be quite interesting to see how, in fact, the players actually do try to approach the next circle. It's not going to be easy, since the majority of the teams are in a troublesome situation, and H2O being one of them. After the way they ended the first match, this is quite unfortunate to see, as Assault is just forced to go for a heal battle already, and it is the players from Xtreme Outlaws. So this is a bittersweet moment for me, to be honest, because I wanted H2O to succeed as well, and that is not what is happening, right?
Look at the kill feed. Malik and Rule, both of the players just got knocked out by a grenade. This is not what we expected from them, but you know what? This was some difficult times, but look at that. Now they just brought down to 3 players. Circle just move a little bit far away. 100 under in 3 meters distance to cover up for this particular team. PUBG Esports still staying just very close to them, but TDP stepping up, spotting down some players and knocking them down too.
Well, the knocks are not going to be enough. They have to finish Takashi taking damage from the flag. What just happened right there, Malik? He had a wonderful opportunity to shut down Takashi, but fails to do so. And now it's all up to Rebel to go for the knock. He will find it quite easily, but he has to revive his teammate as well. And there is no time to do that. So the throw again. Delta, he's gonna have to move as soon as he gets the opportunity to be back on his feet. But in the distance, we do see players from the side of TP under a bit of pressure as well. Let's see how the squad is going to be able to deal with it.
Raw on the other side. That rage just hiding behind this. We can say just hiding behind Haybale, but Shawl from a different angle. They are inside the circle and eight guys for slowly and steadily just moving forward towards them and Rick. What started? Wow, an amazing play side of Rick, literally dominating the players of Kalyuk and securing some kills too. They have 3 kills on their name and they spotted down the other 2 players of Team, fighting some random bullets in the smoke, but able to connect a single one. But still, Raw, they have good control of this compound.
Well, they do have a good control of the compound, but let's see, how the rest of the fighting is going to proceed. In the meanwhile, Ekta is not looking to stop. Kirap is slow, happened. Ekta is taking out the players from the side of Goza as well, proving that this time they are going to be back to their natural forms. There's the last player being shut down as well by Gyante. And Miracle is knocked out in the back line, so they're just going to see if they can finish off the players of Raw official and then go for a revive. Although Raw will be looking to capitalize on this entire situation, they have lost out on Greg as Chante did in fact find the opening to nullify the pressure from the side of Raw, down to 18, 21 players surviving in this game.
Wizards with vibes, they got eliminated from the lobby, and look at that spike. He has very low HP. Chant is slowly and steadily bleeding in, basically slowly and steadily spreading out and losing his HP. Stranger Shadow with that one grenade, confirmed 1 kill, but Raw official charging in on top of the players of it. Take guys for Chante, control that bomb, great side of Raw, takes down 1, and Diab could take out another one, switched to an SLR, and he got punished. Esports, they got eliminated in the 7th position, but Raw, I literally saw that they were on the verge of elimination and they lost 2 players in this particular fight. Stranger from pretty far away. It was so far away from them, but still.
Well, they have been able to secure some kills, and that is going to return in the form of points to them in the leaderboard. But GM Esports this time is trying to be the gatekeeper, stopping out the last player from the squad of Strangers. Shadow pinned down behind the rock. Aquaside just trying to see if he can finish him off as well. Has the Scarl in his hand, quite a wonderful weapon inside the game. But as we move down to the top 6 teams, 14 players still surviving. It's going to be quite important to see how these fights are going to break down. So the circle right now, it is quite open, quite exposed, and all these teams are going to be playing from the edges. Controlling those edges and just trying to survive on these slopes. It's not going to be easy, but that is something that needs to be done in order to get the victory. EWP, I have to say they are in a really uncomfortable position, quite exposed right there. But what was that? Just not even caring that he did not have anywhere to fall back to. Goes for the spray and messes it up.
Yeah.
And gets knocked out.
That was bad, but remember on this side, Betty, he's not missing a single shot. He has 2 kills with the Thompson, and he got taken down from the distance. And C9 Aqua's side on domination, but it's not looking good for them because Wizard, he's the only player surviving from the side of C9 Esports. On the other side, we saw that Raw, they go down at the 5th position. Kutumba Esports take an exit at the 4th position. TDP slowly and still stepping up. Nan, this could be his game, and yup, he instantly eliminated one team, and that is C9 Esports. This is going to be a 1v4. The chances are quite low, but still, miracle can happen.
Well, there is going to be a possibility of a miracle happening right now. As you said, the chances are going to be super low. But as we move down to 2 teams remaining, it is PDP who end up getting eliminated, ladies and gentlemen. And the second game, the map of Miramar, a wonderful finish by Krypton Esports. 8 kills secured, 23 points in total from this game. And well, even they managed to bring themselves inside of the top 11. Well, it's actually right on the 11th.
Yeah, right. But as I just mentioned earlier, Johnny, their play style is to stay on the edge, and we saw that. You mentioned the same thing. The circle was quite open, and being on the edge, it is going to be a viable option, and that's why Krypton put kudos to this particular team, because all the 4 players were alive, and they have good control on every single fight. But Anish is the person who got the MVP title. He secured 4 kills. Look at the damage, it's 709, only 1 assist, and only 97 healing done by this lad.
Well, only 97 healing done. Quite an impressive performance, though. I mean, 709 damage. Dished out survival time was quite decent as well. 4 kills secured, 4 points. And this time, I believe Goza were in such a bad spot. Had they not sort of been split up in the fight against Xtreme Esports, and had Ekta not been on the high ground, the advantage as well, Goza could have actually taken that situation. But still, I mean, kudos to them for having a good mid-game stages this time. And well, in a certain way, they have recovered the losses of the previous match.
But to be honest, quite an amazing performance from the side of Goza. But the fight against Raw versus Ekta, it was phenomenal. But at the end, Raw won that fight. But they lost 2 players in that situation. And after that, they were struggling to move inside the circle. But let's talk about the map summary. Spike got the highest kills of this Miramar map. Shantae has the longest distance kill, and it is 291 meter. Highest damage just out by this particular player, which is Anish. Shantae used the highest amount of utilities, which is just 13. But June, he has the highest amount of assists, which is 3.
Well, quite impressive stats right there, but this is something that I want to look at for sure. Match ranking for this match, and there's a difference: 23 points for Krypton, Krusty Process with 17 points. And it was quite incredible, because I expected Krusty Process to actually take an exit either on the 4th or on the 3rd, because they were quite exposed away from the result as well. But there's the fact that Kutumba were way too aggressive and wanted to just run into those fights, for the fact that resulted in them getting taken out, and Krusty Process surviving all the aggression that should have come upon them in the early stages of those final few fights.
If we talk about the second page of the match ranking, Kalyug, they are on the 10th position, and you know what, Johnny? They were the first team who lost their first player, and after that, they went towards the San Martin area, and we saw that. It was the point when San Martin, it was in the circle till the 3rd zone, but after that shift, Kalyug was forced to, this team was forced to move out from their, comfortable area, and that's why they got punished. It's a secured only 3 point, but still, Wizards with vibes, they have 3 points also in their name. So, unexpected performance from their side.
Well, let's see. I mean, it is going to be quite interesting to see what the next few matches are going to look like. This was an interesting moment as well, because Wiz with vibes, again, Malik, he was already thrown out. There was the lad right in front of him who could have actually taken him out. It took him, I believe, a second and a half to actually just figure out where Malik was and then get him out. And by then it was like already pretty done and dusted that entire fight. The fact we were talking about GURKHA Esports trying their level best, but shutting them down, and then Raw official returning the favor to the players of Xtreme Esports.
Yup, and you know what? This was the fight when Shantae literally switched to that SLR, and you know what? It is going to be the sometimes it is an option, but it is very difficult to take down some player with that marksman rifle in a close range fight. But trust the process. Kudos to Nan, because he was the person who eliminated C9 Esports, CN basically Esports from the lobby, and then he got taken out by the players from Krypton. But let's have a look at the overall ranking. JyanMaara again on the top, but Raw on the 6th, Johnny, with 34 points.
Well. I mean, it's going to be quite interesting to see how far up the leaderboard they will be able to climb. Almost halfway there. I mean, 76 to JyanMaara, 34 to Ruthless Aggressive Warriors. But the difference between the two teams is the fact that JyanMaara did it without any chicken dinners, and Raw already have a chicken dinner in the bag. So if they just manage to be consistent in the next three games, Raw should be able to close the distance. This was a game that was quite out of the ordinary from the start of Raw. We saw them take an early exit to Sanhok and Erangel. We will have to watch out quite carefully and see what the team will be able to accomplish.
Yep, let's see what are they going to be accomplished. But Krypton Esports stepping up on the 11th position with total 26 points. But Kalyuk still on the 17th position with total 18 points. But OHR Ekta Esports finally showcasing that dominance. They played only 2 matches, but still secured 12 points, 18 points in fact. But the kill department is looking pretty strong, Johnny. 12 kills and only 6 placement points.
Well. I mean, the kill department, as you said, I mean, it is looking quite solid, and this was just from the last match as well. So that is something that I want Ekta Esports to stick to. I mean, this is their signature place. I mean, during the recent tournament, we saw them in. That is something that made this team iconic, and that is something that made you remember this team and fear them inside of the game as well. Just the fact that they like to be aggressive, and they are a team that you will definitely want to be extra careful with against those team fights. Even in this game, had there been, like, I believe just 30 more seconds between just 30 seconds between the fight with Goza and Raw official, then Ekta, they would have had time to reset and then re-engage with Raw with everything that they had. There was no reset time between the two fights. That is the reason that they got overwhelmed. But I mean, Kira Peaceflow, Elementrix, these teams will definitely have to buckle up and start performing in the next 2 matches. Otherwise, I mean, if they are at the last week of the standings by the end of the day, things are definitely going to look really, really shaky. But Sanhok and Erangel definitely off maps where I mean, anything can happen, and it will be really wonderful to watch to see if either Raw official will be picking up the pace, or Elementrix, or the someone or the other teams will be stepping up. I mean, what is going to happen? Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. But if we talk about the next map, it's going to be Sanhok. It is going to be just opposite from the Miramar map, because in Miramar map, we usually witness those fights in those middle stages of the map, right? After 12 minutes, after 13 minutes. But in Sanhok, the early fights are pretty common. Now, I just want to mention one thing. 7
Yeah.
Global Thugs and Kira Peaceflow, the rotations always collide, Johnny. And
Yeah.
that's why they always end up by getting eliminated on the 13, or we can say on the 14th position.
But you know what? Maybe the next match can change everything. But before that, we're going to take a very short break. So just stay tuned, keep watching. We'll be right back after this.
Are you keeping it
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to PUBG Mobile Club Open Fall Split 2021 Nepal Region, sponsored by Oppo F19 Pro. Book up your fun. My name is Phoenix Shimans, and alongside me, it's Iceberg Cooper. So, how are
Yeah.
you, mate?
I'm wonderful. Just waiting for these two matches and just watching the first two matches as well. So the stage looks completely set and raw official. The way they are going after their NC win, they look spectacular. And just to see if they're going to find some challenge today in the remaining matches. The schedule for the day for this Group C and Group D encounter, Sanhok and Erangel. That is what we are going to witness. Nation Esports getting this chicken in Miramar, setting up a big statement out there.
Yep, and you know what? They are setting up the base as well for themselves. Now, the important part is I was about to ask this question. So, what are your expectations from Raw? Because now they are at the first page of the leaderboard, Trooper.
Yeah, already with just two matches they've made inside the top 8 teams. So the confidence is really high on this team. And with just one more Erangel remaining, it's going to be very crucial how they're going to take the Sanok game. And it's going to be a fast
Oh
paced
yeah.
game. That's what I'm anticipating. But without wasting any time, let's quickly go inside the map where all these teams are going to plunge in. And it's so beautiful to see all the 64 players jumping inside the Sanok game right now. So let's see. This is the first time Group C and Group D spawning inside the map of Sanok. There might be some collisions in the early game.
Yup, and we always anticipate some early skirmishes as well as some early fights in Sanhok map. Look at the position of Elementrix. Now, they just drop down near the Hathin area, and slowly and steady they are just moving away a little bit close to each other, but still going for those individual compounds. Now, Prasant from the side of Goza, he was way close to the players of Elementrix, but he decided to just move away towards a different island, and right now he is safe. But again, from the last two matches, we saw Kirapi's flow and the players from the side of 7GT. Their the rotations always collide. They will just end up against each other. So what do you think? Is this going to happen again in the Sanok map? Again, that player from the side of Poker was a little bit short.
Well, this is the first time these teams, this set of 16 teams, are dropping inside Sanok, right? So anything that is going to happen in the teams are going to be really not sure about how exactly that's going to pan out. But the first blood goes to Para GD already, so the first blood is already coming in from this region over here, and let's see how the game progresses from here on. But I'm pretty surprised to see Elementrix on the overall standings in last place. This is a
Oh
very
yeah.
old team, right? And we know how good they can be, but watching them. Uh, watching them struggle a little bit is really being in the wrong place. And let's see how they're going to come back in the remaining two matches. It's going to be a very important game for all these teams because just after this is going to be the last match for today. And
Yeah.
all the teams by the end of today would have played their first four matches because they're going to play just 12 matches during the semi-finale.
Yeah, man, that's the point of concern, right? Now, C9, they lost to one player in a very difficult spot, 7GT. Now their drop occasion is colliding with the team of C9 Esports. They just dropped down to only three players, 7GT, slowly and steadily. The players are a little bit, repositioning themselves, which is again a good point, but we can see Carl and boy, they both are just behind those big rocks, and this is again a good, position, a good option to stay behind those rocks. But you have to be careful from the sidelines because if any player is on the flank angle, can spot you down and take you down too. But right now, they are looking pretty safe. The C9 Esports are disengaging from the fight, and they are just moving away.
Well, yes, they've already lost a player right so early inside the contest, and this is not a good place to be. So that is exactly why the reason for this disengagement. But 7GD, they're sensing it now, and they're just pressing the charges on them. Let's see if they're going to get some more altercation or maybe some more points out of this altercation. But clearly, Aqua side, Cyanide, and Wizard just leading their players away from the situation. But there are more fights that we witnessed towards this Tri Junction. DHR and even Krypton Esports have been standing in this Mexican standoff for quite some time. All the four players from DHR and all the four players from Krypton are still a part of this fight, but they are split and it's not a very good situation to be really honest. Look at the loot. No helmet, no waste whatsoever, no meds. He's just got that one he's just got that one
Painkiller,
drink
yeah.
over there. Yeah. And let's see how he's going to deal with the situation now.
You know what? Dealing with the situation, it is going to be a little bit difficult because as you mentioned, no vest, no helmet, and he compromised his position without connecting a single bullet on medical. And obviously, it is going to be a difficult task for him because he was using an iron sight, and we all know iron sight on AKM. If you're using iron sight on AKM, it is the best combination, but on other guns, it is still a difficult part. But now, Poker, he is still inside this particular compound, and Spike, I don't think so that he has any type of weapon with him.
Well, let's see what is he going to do. But right now they're finding themselves just on the dead center of this first circle, that is including a little bit of the eastern shore as well. So teams like H2O, teams like KY right now, Kaliug, they are going to find some good amount of time for themselves to do their early loot. But the problem for Kaliug looks like, look at the amount of split that they've got, and their player Shoaib is so close to
Yeah.
the team of H2O over there that that altercation is just inevitable for me. Let's see when it's not going to be break off as well. But on the other side,
Yep.
I'll just bring your attention towards the teams who are just finding themselves outside the circle on the Camp Charlie Island and just now heading into rotation. So that is also going to be a very critical thing how they're going to fix that.
And you know what, Trooper? Their Kalyugs, their scout just got killed. And as you just mentioned about H2O, they spots down at one particular player and killed him instantly. Now, Spike, he goes down, but at the end, on the retaliation fire, Eka Esports managed to take down one player from the side of Krypton. But the revival is going to be there. Shanti, he has an AKM again. Teams are lacking with those helmets and vests, but they are still looking pretty strong with those fights. Now, we can see that the kill has been confirmed, but look at the position of Empress. He is on a different island. He's inside different compound. And if Dante and Shante tried, or we could say if they just move away from this compound and they just try their level best to just move on a frank angle, then Empress can easily punish them down.
Well, yes, he's going to be the X factor here for Krypton Esports, and it's going to be very important for both these players to somehow keep him out of the equation. Otherwise, if he catches them off guard, it's going to be a difficult situation to handle. But they've been here for so long now, and the teammate is just bleeding out in the distance, and they're just not trying absolutely anything to move towards him. No sort of utilities with them, no helmet vest as well. So it's a pretty difficult situation, but they really got to find out a way to disengage. Otherwise, they're just wasting time over there.
Yeah, it's been 7 minutes, Trooper, and they are still against each other. Now, look at that. We have the first airdrop. We have the AUG, one of the best weapon you could find in an airdrop. And we can see that Cubic still is moving and just gonna collect some loot. But Hellraisers up against the players of Raw, and it seems like they are winning that fight because they knocked out one player from the side of Raw. Officially, they have to do something because if your one player goes down, you have to be prepared for those, we can say, trade-offs.
Well, anyone has to be, and those trade-offs are very important in a competitive lobby. If someone is picking on your player, trying to complete him, that's really important. But look at this, Raw Fisher, they've
Oh,
got the
wow.
second player down. The revivals were being executed over there, but he's been pulled off over here. Now Hellraisers, they're making an impact. They're really not good on the overall standings, but they're looking so confident out here. He's just completed and finished off one player, but Rage is also bleeding out. It's not looking a good situation for Raw officials to handle. Let's see how they're going to deal with this because the other two players, if they come in towards that third lag, it's going to be a different situation as well.
Certainly going to be a difficult situation for them, but Mama somehow manages to at least slow down a little bit of the pace of the players of Hellraisers because he dished out a lot of damage on one player which lost out, and now he just cleaned himself up on to 75% XP. But look at that, Raw Official already brought down to only two players, and they never ever anticipated this. But they have to be ready for a fight because Hellraiser is slowly and steadily closing in the distance. But only two players are just moving forward. The other two players, they are checking the back line. Again, one of the perfect game plan you can work on.
Well, yes, and this Sanhok game is definitely picking up pace now with Raw Official losing players at this point and Hellraisers trying to pin them down, and so many fights that are being erupted in different part of the match right now. It's going to be really interesting that who's going to come out of that situation. Clearly, Raw official, we were expecting a big game out of them, and they've already lost two players, so it's not going to be that sort of a big game for them. But they've really got to keep on fighting, try to control the situation because Hellraisers are not going to leave them away. They're not just going to give them that easy escape out of the situation right now, and they're just going to keep trying to hurt them, and they're going to fight back their way. And look at this, almost a knock on goal. That's a really good spray from Rig, but the different part of the map, the teams like Kutumba and TDP are also finding themselves into a tussle. Looks like yes, TDP are just behind the lines where Raw official were, so they're now moving towards the eastern coast and towards the right hand side,
Yeah.
towards the area of Kampong, or maybe just outside Kampong. Those ridges are being controlled by TDP, and they're already inside a tussle.
And you know what, Trooper? The
Yeah.
camping bridges played an important role because we all know the cover, it's amazing. And if the circle is also favoring you, then you can easily control a lot of fights from that particular area. Now, Kutumba haven't secured a single kill point, but look at that. They are up against a team who is known for their aggression. It is TDP, but they are surrounded by the players of Kutumba. Tidy. Spraying down some random shots on Sugar. He's on 20% HP. He's in fact surviving on just 10% HP now. Spidey, he's still moving, slowly and steadily, still collecting a lot of information and still holding that one particular angle.
Look at this split. It's a complete standard
Yeah.
situation for the lads of TDP right now. And Shaga just holding on to that position. But Kutumba, they are pressing the charges. And this is looking a difficult situation for TDP. They really need to get an opening and just succumb them to lower numbers on either side. If that's going to happen, that is the only chance. Otherwise, they're just engraving them from multiple angles right now. And this is not looking good for TDP, to be really honest. They got to keep their eyes behind their backs in this sort of a situation. Now, there are nades being deployed towards the smoke cloud. Noob very clear. He spotted someone. He's pulled one down, and Kakashi is going to get eliminated. But the
Oh,
raid
wow.
almost coming in time from Spidey. But Noob somehow survives on that very low HP.
Now it just backfire. This, this split formation just backfire in the favor of Kutumba, but no. Noob got knocked out by that one grenade from the side of Roma, and now he just lobbed another. Now, this is a little bit short, but dished out some amount of damage, and he's just gonna lob another, but it is so far away from the players of TDP. Look at that. Spidey being more aggressive, and he got punished for this over aggression. Kutumba now in a worse spot.
Oh, this is the qualifier team, right? They've
Yeah.
come to the qualifiers and they're just trying to press so hard over here, but they're losing players. And Roman now in a very difficult spot. His teammate Eddie is out here. He finished one kill for his team, but that is the most he can do in this situation. Still, the two lads from TDP inside the nearby vicinity, they're just regrouping themselves. Ooh, but shots coming in from different directions.
Wow.
That is a completely different team. URS getting into the equation over there, eliminating completely TDP. Not something that TDP had expected. Just one of the lads now surviving from TDP. This is Jinan on your screen, and he's just lost two players to a completely new team. So he's no idea whatsoever that what is happening on these ridges. He just needs to get away from this whole fiasco right now.
Yeah, and we saw that it was Loki on the side of URS, and we all know he's so clever, and that's why he stole that kill from the side of Kutumba. But Krypton on the other side swaps down the players of Hellraisers, but they're a little bit far away from each other. Now, the important part is third zone is closing, and we still have 16 teams alive, but only 49 players. So teams are losing out those individual, but still collecting some kills as a consolation prize. So yeah, it's an even situation for some teams, but this is not even for Krypton because look at that one particular lad is barely surviving on the HP, but Anish with his incredible spray knocks out Clone in a very difficult spot. Kutumba on the other side takes an exit out of 16 with only 1 point.
No, and that's not the kind of shot they were
Yeah.
anticipating. They were looking aggressive. They were trying to execute the split situation, but now things going against them. Now we have got the Wizards with vibes over here, trying to get some kills over here, and this is URS not looking in a very good spot either. And Loki OP goes down. The second
Oh
wipe of the
no.
game in second, and underrated rookies have been eliminated. URS out of the game, and Wizards with Vibes, they've got some good kills. And this is Malik, right? Vibes Malik used to
Yeah.
play under the name, and now he's with this new team. Let's see how this is going to work out for him. And for now, it's looking very decent in the map of Sanhok.
Yeah, they are looking pretty decent in this particular map. But Trooper, look at that.
Yes.
Position of the players of Elementrix. They are present on the Paradise Resort up against the players of 7 Global Thugs. Again, they were up against in a fight. They knocked out some of their individual, but still revival the revival is here. That's why teams are looking pretty strong on 4 men. Now, Thugs, if we talk about this particular team, 7GT, they have the higher advantage, but Elementrix, they have a control of those sidelines. They have control of those side angles. So it is going to be a pivotal part for them to collect some kills and to hold that for one particular spot. But Krypton on the other side, this team secured a chicken dinner in the previous match, and Insus. He's not inside that one compound, which is very close to him, but he's just going for another option, and which is just laying down in an open area.
Well, that's always an option, right? Well, there's also so it's just up to you if you're going to use that or not. But here they are
Yeah.
certainly, and the next chip of the zone, just moving towards this tri-junction of the roads towards the south of Paradise Resort, and it's in between three
Oh,
ridges, and
wow.
it's not a very good spot to be really honest. Where teammate, the lands from teammate are still holding up, and it's going to be really difficult for them to come out of that compound later if all the three ridges are sort of occupied. Look at where the lads are just holding up, where Krypton are right now. They're just going to find one more team of Hellraisers pretty close to themselves. So that's going to be a very difficult spot for a lot of teams, and this is not a good valley to hold on.
If you're talking about a lot of difficult spot for some of the teams, I just want to mention one point, and this is interesting to be honest. Trust me, Trooper.
Yeah, this is what I'm
Eight-
talking about. Look at this. Look at this. Look at where Hellraisers are holding up, right?
Yeah.
And the compound of Ekta is really, really visible from there. But they're getting
What?
picked off from vehicles inside the map of Sanhok. That's a very unusual sight that is happening over here. But tough times given by GOZA Esports as well. Prashant now holding up this angle. And this is for Vibes. What are you doing here? This is the fight that is being executed. But look at this. Somehow they found themselves in the situation. It's going to be very difficult for them.
Oh, no.
But they read the situation beautifully. Yes, they're getting the information, they're finding the enemies and hurting them now.
As well as they're stealing some kills too. So that's a perfect way you're gonna execute the third party. But as well, I was talking about that one interesting factor, and that is OHR Esports. They are holding that one complete compound from last 17 minutes. But the strange is they got eliminated at the 14th position. Come on, can you imagine 17 minutes in just holding that one particular compound? And just because of the PUBG gods, the zone is still favoring them. They have almost a good amount of loot, but trust the process. One of my favorite teams, they got eliminated in very, very early stage. And with that, they're not spotting down the players of Krypton while moving inside the circle. But Goop is the fastest vehicle, and connecting some shots is difficult.
Yeah, it's always a difficult task to connect shots on Cube, and considering the fact that it is fastest over there. But now look at this. There was just one last guy remaining from TDP. Yes, he's been picked off as well. So now we're down to 12 teams, 35 players, and some of the teams are already looking so aggressive. And look at this. Goza Esports with already 5 kills. Wizards with Vibes with already 5 kills over here. So they're just trying to press charge and dominate over this lobby. But Hellraisers, they're sensing this opportunity just outside. They're closing on to this compounds where Crypto Esports have been holding up. Now it's time for some utilities to work up.
Oh,
Look at Buku. Is he going to be on the receiving end? I
Yup.
think he has an idea.
No.
Just do it. But Buku just used the print and decides to fall back, and at the very right time, I believe. But this can be just the opening that they were looking for. They've given damage to
Not
a
yet.
lot of players, but no knocks.
No knocks, not yet, but
Now maybe.
I think so. This is going to be. But oh no! The door closed at the perfect time. What was that? Krypton doing some amazing job, and in fact, Insert, he was at a different location, and he spots down one player of Hellraisers and instantly take them down. But look at the position of H2O on the mini map. They are inside. They're in the dead center of the circle. Except Salt, obviously, he's just gatekeeping for Ekta Esports, but he has to be careful from the sidelines. Keira Ryzen, he goes down by the players of Elementrix. The start picking up one grenade is going to be the a bad thing for Crypto, but no. Mocha, he's so good with this Uzi, and we all know this SMG has the highest fire rate, but MVP with his Thompson almost finished Krypton from the lobby, but to be honest, Troopers, this is one of the most incredible fight I ever watched in Sanhok.
Definitely, and inside a close compound, multiple players being built down, but somehow Krypton have managed to keep all their forces standing on the other side from the northwest. Elementrix is trying to press charges. They're trying to get inside the zone, hurting the players of 7 global thugs right in front of them, and they're just trying to find the fourth and fourth player as well, who's just holding on to the angle. But from the distance, look at this liquid
Wow.
going down as well. But Orange coming with that beautiful trade at the right time. That is the end for 7 global thugs. But this is a good position for Elementrix to hold on. They've got the edge, but all they got to be aware about are the teams that are holding the higher ground inside the nearby vicinity, and that's going to be very important for them. From the southern side, Krypton trying to make an appearance and fighting against the blue, losing some players definitely, but trying to catch on to the play area. And as we witness all this happen, Kalayog also gets eliminated from the game.
Yep, and with our 8th Esports also taking next to that, the 8th position, but it was not by a team, it was by a play zone. But Krypton, 2 players still need to revive, and then only 1 player still surviving. But Rick from the side of Raw, he was lobbing some grenades, but a big shot. Rosa Esports still controlling this fight, but the important part is look at that position Rick is holding. He has a cover of a vehicle, he has a cover of that one rock, and that's why the vehicle cover is so important that we saw that he literally escaped the impact of that flag grenade. Amazing. Nope, I'm not gonna say that.
But that is the end for the aggressive Warriors, right? They've been so amazing in the recent past, and now those are also losing players, and it's going to be difficult for them because they've already got 6 kills under their belt. Look at Wizards with 5, they've got 7 already, and they're not stopping. Rebel getting more kills for himself. Even Elementrix getting some kills out, coming in from the western side. And Wizards with 5 have got good control of the eastern shore. It's just important for them to take care of Goza and the labs of CNE just coming in from the northern side as well. Wizards with 5, Malik on the run. He's got an AKM trying to clear out Goza and CNE from this side. And look at this, beautifully executed. It's been Elementrix who is also just clearing people on the eastern edge, coming in from the western side. That is how small the zone is right now. We're down to the last 10 players, and this is Elementrix. They are trying really hard over here. This is looking like a comeback game for Elementrix, and CNE Esports have just got one player who's trying to survive. That is the Aqua side. And they have been sort of just getting away with the good fight since their encounter in Cow, but right now making it to the top 4 is a really good spot for them. And H2O, look H2O, where they are, they found a hurt for themselves. Wizards with Vibes have gone down over here, and this is not looking good for them. And this is an amazing comeback coming in from Elementrix. Teams after teams that they are clearing up. The 2 players standing in front of the entire squad of Elementrix, and what an amazing comeback. They were not looking good inside the overall ranking before the start of this game, and this is a team that does not take it so easily. They come back and they come back strong, and this is exactly what Elementrix is doing. Paragiri, Octopus, 2 players in front of them, but Orange has got a clear idea where they are, and utilities are being utilized over here. Well. The first knock has been picked up by Paragini. Is there a twist in the tail? That's got to be watching out. And Paragini with the Molly pretty close over there. And look at how they're going to do this. But the utilities now opening up. Paragini going. Orange creating the utilities. Liquid now charging it with that AK utilized. But that is the chicken dinner for Elementrix, hunting down the last and final lad as well. The opening was created by Orange with a beautiful name, and they just had to complete the game over there. A chicken dinner, a 30-full chicken dinner for Elementrix from page number 4 directly on the 10th position on the overall.
Yeah, super. I literally love that way game panned out. Elementrix secured a second, and look at that. 10th position in the overall rankings.
Well, they are amazing. Look at the damage. That's you in a Sanhok game. You don't find
Yeah.
2300 damage in a Sanhok game, right? And this is Liquid getting 3 kills, 901 damage, surviving for a total of 22 minutes, 35 seconds, and 5 assists for his team. Amazing,
Wow.
amazing game coming in from Elementrix. This 13 kill chicken dinner is not just normal chicken dinner. This is a statement coming in from Elementrix. They're showing those old colors that we voted for.
Yeah, and you know what? Liquid kudos to this player because it's not about his individual playstyle. He gave 5 assists, Trooper, and this is the most important part because if you're just giving assists to your teammates, then this is the most important because now your teammates can focus on different angles. If you're taking multiple fights, your teammates can help you a lot. Now, if we talk about the top players, Paragon, he's on the second position with 4 kills. Sus is on the third position, also 4 kills, and we can say the same thing because Malik also secured 4 kills, but he's on the fourth position, and his survival time is kind of impressive 20 minutes 44 seconds. Grizzlies with vibes, they tried their level best.
Well, they certainly did. And in the match summary, you can once again see Orange with those highest skills over there. We saw multiple players with the same number of. Look at this. Liquid getting the highest damage. 901. That is the damage. And raw officials, we had a very good player with most utilities. It was just what you were talking, right? He was surviving, using those nades so beautifully. He has smoked up the place as well. So these are the standout players. But now it's time for the match ranking where Elementrix are going to go ahead with 28 points, already on the 10th position in the overall. But S2O Esports also getting significant numbers. 6 teams getting into double digits out of this game. Even Xtreme Esports getting 10 placement points with 0 kills.
Heavily dependent on the placement point, but you know what? If your game plan is working, then yep, you are on the right path. Hellraisers on the 7th position with 5 total points. OHR Esports, I'm again still remembering that one particular compound they were holding, and last 17 minutes they were holding that, but at the end it was Lone who forced them to just move away. But raw. They finished at the 9th, and basically they have total 3 points in their backpack, 1 kill point and 2 placement points. TD3 underrated rookies, both the players they have only 2 kill points, and those are the last total points they can ever enjoy. But Stranger, he was the first person who got eliminated at the first position, but Trooper, this lad is so good because he's capable of pulling out some of the greatest clutches. I saw him performing well, and it was almost on that flank angle, but at that situation he got stuck in an early skirmish. That's why he got punished.
Well, yes, and once again, we're going to have a look at all these amazing fights on the Sanhok app. And this was the moment of the backside coming in on the two lads of TDP as well. But this is the Oppo F19 Pro moment from the game where this amazing fight was shaping place between the lads of Xtreme Esports and the team Hellraiser in front of them. Eventually, Hellraiser were pinned down, but they really did put up a great fight over here. And then came in the domination from the coming in from the eastern edges was Elementrix, clearing out people far on the western edge as well, and they made sure they let no one survive. And this is the final kill that they hunted down and got themselves a chicken.
Now, we were waiting for this overall ranking, and H2O, what a jump from the side of this particular fourth position after playing 3 games, 47 points on their name. RW Raw scored down at the 8th position with only 37 points in their back, but kudos to Vibes and Krypton equal on 5th and the 7th position respectively with 40 points and 39 points in their favor.
Well, yes, and it's a really decent effort coming in from all these teams. And now on the second page, you can see Elementrix finishing so beautifully inside the top 10. We know that from this region, only 15 teams are going to go forward. So this chicken dinner is a big statement coming in. SOLTI squad moving down to the 15th position. They wouldn't want to slide further down, but it's going to be difficult for them considering the fact that we do not have any matches today. But ASONE Esports also just moving up the charts over there onto the 17th, making things possible for themselves. Even Turtle Process with 21, they need just a little bit of a better effort to land inside and finish up inside the top 15 because it's going to be a really, really important thing for them. Considering by the end of this next match, every team, all 32 teams, would have played their first 4 matches.
Yep, and we have just only one single match left for the day, Trooper, and it's going to be Erangel. But Hellraisers finally stepping up. They are at the position, again, not that good, but still, we signs of improvement. They have 7 total points for their name, 6 skill points, and only 1 placement point. So, yeah, we can see they are struggling on those placement points department, but still, at least they're collecting some, their kill point. But the important part is to go, okay, this is going to be the final match for the day for these two teams. The two teams, the basically team from these two groups, Group C and Group D. But I'm amazed by the performance of some teams like Elementrix, just on the 10th position, as well as what is the on the 8th position. Let's go. They are at the first page of the.
Well, just coming in the first statement was, I'm surprised to see Elementrix over there,
Yeah.
right? And they just heard me correctly and gave us the correct result.
Yeah, but we'll go on a short break after this incredible match, and coming right up, it is going to be the final match for the day, Erangel.
Are you keeping it real? I'm calling shotgun, wanna see my baby run. Oh, what's the word on the sea? Kicking up the dust, you know what I mean. We got a good thing going. We got a good thing going on.
Here we go now.
Hello, guys, and welcome back once again to PUBG Mobile Club Open Fall Split 2021, sponsored by the Oppo F19 Pro. Wook up your fun, and we are wooked up here after the 3 matches from the day 2 of the semi-finale from the Nepal region, and now it's time, Phoenix, for the last and final game for the day, and that is going to be played inside Erangel.
Yep, another Erangel for the day, and I'm very, very excited how Raw are going to perform today, because we all know in the first Erangel they secured the second dinner, and it was an incredible fight against with with Wipes, and now it's going to be the Erangel match. And what are your expectations?
From the map of Erangel, I always expect a really good final circle, to be really honest, first of all, because these teams, all the South Asian teams, if you ask them what is their favorite map, the first answer is by default for 99%, it's Erangel, right? So they've done a lot of practice on Erangel. They know every single riches. They know everything about this map. So you expect that A gameplay to come from all these players inside the map of Erangel. So I'm expecting a really good final finish over here, and the teams are going to play this a little bit slowly inside the first few minutes. I feel because they really want to change their positions inside the overall standing. So all the 16 teams would want their maximum 4 players inside the final circle, and that is why I'm expecting a slow start over here.
Yeah, and I'm expecting a slow start as well. But we all know Ekta Esports and Raw, both the teams are going to be pretty close to each other because we can see that this again, this main part starts from the western side of the map. But as you was mentioned earlier, that group mostly players like Erangel, but but I'm gonna disagree with that point because I love Sanhok and you know I love to be a snake. I just love to be a camp, but I love to camp. But that's not the case with these players because they are so aggressive. Talk about aggression. H2O. They secured more than 12 kills on this map, and you know what? If this is how they're gonna play on Erangel, I'm pretty excited.
Well, certainly, I'm also excited for Erangel. Look at the number of teams already inside Georgia Pool over there with and the circle. Wow, a beautiful Savani shooting great circle. And I want to, I've finished to go to northern side of Rozok because we have quite a number of finishes towards the main island. So that is going to put in all these teams in a bit of a tricky situation because they got to rotate and use those bridges. There are one, two, three, four, five, 6 to 7 bridges on that river over there, and it becomes really tricky to use those bridges to cross yourself. And you never know when the action is going to be over there. But look at the number of teams, even Elementrix, how far away they are from the zone right now. It's going to be really interesting how these teams are going to find a good sweet spot inside the first circle.
Okay, so as just mentioned about just moving inside the circle, you just mentioned about Team Elementric. So, if they can anticipate from where they can enter inside the circle, so they still have a lot of area, but if they move from the western side of the Pochinki, if the enters from the western side of the Pochinki, then it might possible that they will end up against Nine Esports and another team which is inside the Pochinki area. And if they just go to the Georgia Pool area, then they are going to be 3 teams, in fact, 3 teams. But okay, another kill secured by a run over, and it's again an angle map. So yeah, it's like a ritual now.
Well, this happens, right? Vehicles are a very important aspect in Erangel. So some of the early altercations always happen for a vehicle fight. But look at Malik; he's just surviving in that track. All he has is a sickle. But oh, where has Psycho stopped? Is there a player? Yes, there is a player for Delta, and he's got a Bison. The 2 players on the ground floor do not have anything substantial to take this fight. And if that information is relayed, I think this Bison is going to put in a lot of pressure on these 2 players. And now, let's see what they're going to pull off. What does he
Yeah.
have over there? Oh, he has a VSS.
Yes. Okay. There's another teammate present out there, but you can see the backup is already here. So Delta, we all know he has a Bison. 53 bullets inside that Bison is deadly, and yeah, I'm talking about 50 someone, but he's able to take down another. Oh my god, that was a close call, but H2O Esports, without losing a single individual, collected 2 kills. But for that, again, we can see the mini map. There's another player in the same vicinity. He's hiding inside a shack.
That's
And
Malik. Yeah, he can't do
yeah,
anything
that's
at this
Malik.
point. Yeah, he doesn't have anything. He just has a sickle, maybe scale away a person, but that's not going to deal with H2O Esports right now. They're in a completely different mindset, and they're just pushing in as a team. They know with just one VSS, you cannot go for a blind push because there might be anything that the person can have. And now they also have the Bison, right? So they're looking good. They've got a decent start, 2 kills already. But other than that, this is another fight that is erupting towards the east of Rozok. And in this compound, we've already got 7 global thugs, and they've got some unfriendly neighbors.
Yep, and you know what? They have to be careful. As just mentioned, those unfriendly neighbors, they have some decent weapons with them. And as I just mentioned about one thing, that the one person, he has a sickle. And I just want to mention another thing. And this is the time for an interesting fact, and that is if you're going to throw a sickle, it will dish out 35 damage onto it. It has no vest and a helmet. So, yeah, going to play in it. Just throws it.
Look at this. Look
Just
at this.
called. Oh no! It was so close to go down, but that was a close call. Chayush on the other side, he goes down, but the revival is going to be there. Chayush on the other side. But why is 7G? You're still holding on the back line. It's the time to, push because one player got knocked down, three players got stuck inside that one compound, one grenade can finish off this journey inside this one at angle. But staying on the back lines again, it's part of the plan, I think so.
Well, they're not just committing themselves at this point, right? There's no point committing for a single play. They need some loot, but looks like Kraton already has a good loot. 4 first aids already for him. He's even got a drink and a painkiller over there. But just moving away, even Myod boy, he's got 3 first aids already, and they look like have got a good share of looting already.
Yep, and you know what? If they had this amount of good loot, I'm still wondering why they're just backing off. They have good area, and in fact, that was a high ground trooper, but still they're just moving away. I think so. They just lost that one player, and that's why they are not going to take a fight,
Yep.
which is going to be disadvantages for them because it is going to be a 3v4, but still you have the best loot, but this backing off is another good option in a fight. Now, if we talk about Gas Rangers, this team is kind of struggling right now, and that's why we can see they are just on the northeastern side of the map. Players are pretty far away from each other, and they will, for sure, they will regroup, but they have to be careful because we can see Goza on the back line.
Well, yes, they are. And this is all happening towards the north side. These Starboard Heights are coming into the equation. And look at the amount of split onto the players of the strangers right now. Cherry is inside this compound over here, and Evil is watching this rotation happen from Goza Esports. He's certainly not giving away any information right now, taking some of the fall damage. But the important thing is he's not engaged with the team that was rotating over there. And now, when they would be holding the man advantage, then they might go into the situation over there. But look at this. 7 global thugs, they were retreating from that compound towards the eastern side of Rozhok. But what they have found is Hellraisers in a split situation already
Yeah.
holding up inside the city of Rozhok. And I
And
can see 3 players right now. Even the fourth is just about near about in the inside the vicinity. So this is not looking a good stance for 7 global thugs. They just need to hold on to their positions. Otherwise, if they lose a player, so they're in a big split, it's going to be a very difficult situation if they're once down to 2 players only.
but you know what, Rupert, there's one thing I just want to mention. One point, and that is Hellraiser. I know that it's not going to be their fight because the players are a little bit separated from each other, but okay. They had a good compound. That squad house is going to play a pivotal role in this fight because you have that height advantage, and we all know that balcony is the most useful thing in this Rozok compound. And right now, 7 global thugs, they're just moving away, and we all know that the 3 stories in this basically in this Rozok. In fact, the 2 stories it is very important. If you have control of the 2 story, you can easily control the rows of fight. That is 2 piece inside the same compound with the 4 players of one single team rushing towards him, just making sure that he will stay alive. But look at that! That grenade was following him.
Wow. It feels like this is very jump cascade for teammates are now just arriving for him, making the tire over there, and a good trade that has been taken. He's managed to take out one knock, but eventually was traded over there. Just Sued is going to get the revive now, but this is not looking good for 7 global thugs. And this is what I was talking about. If they lose a player in this situation, they would be down to 2 players standing in front of an entire squad. And now things are changing suddenly for 7GT, and they're retreating even further. And the zone is shifting even further towards the north. The city of Severny still sort of towards the center over there, and we can already witness the team of Kutumba towards the city of Severny. But Hellraiser are certainly enjoying this loot that they have found for themselves inside the city of Rozhok.
You know what, Rupert? This circle, I literally witnessed the same circle when I was casting with Johnny. It was, I think it was the second match of A1 semi-finals, and this was the same circle. It was formed under the southern side of the Savurni, and that situation, JyanMaara, and we saw some of the teams, they got stuck in that particular position, but still JyanMaara came up with a solution. they had a good fight, but AsOne Esports they secured second dinner because they were holding the sidelines. In fact, high. They have a good control of the Synergy. They had a good control of the Synergy, but still, just because of that fact, they got punished from different angle. Now we are witnessing the same circle. The teams are different, but I think so the zone, it is kind of going to be similar to the southern side of Sivani, or we can say to the northeastern side of shooting range. For them on the other side, they have good control of these four compounds, and we all know this group, this two compounds are very, very important in the Sivani area because Trooper one compound has one story and you have almost five rooms and if you're just gonna escape from that grenade so the grenade impact escaping from that grenade impact as well as just staying alive inside that one compound is pretty easy and the second compound he has that one ground level and it is also very important because you can surprise factor if you're just holding that one particular compound now if we talk about the position of coach on Ekta Esports, they're out in an open area. They're controlling that track by using those vehicles. Another amazing, amazing plan from the side of Ekta Esports.
Well, it really is. Oh, elimination coming in. H2O, they were trying to enter towards these compounds, towards the Tri-Junction, just towards the south of the city of Sivani, but they've
Oh
been
no.
completely denied. And shots coming in from Ekta onto the land of Kakashi as well. And this nade
No, he
might
goes
just
to
do the damage, but look at that, it was not properly clicked. And Paragot somehow got the time to get away from the situation over there. And this follow up nade, and he's healing him so
what?
beautifully. He's counting the seconds so beautifully over there. But now he is himself picking up a nade, and let's see what is he going to pull off over here. Not wasting any utility whatsoever. Paragon, he just cancels the nade because he knows it's not going to be easy for them. But Paragiri, he pulls down one play with that M4, and now Kakashi is going to be under pressure. He's just thrown the nade outside. But look at this. A Molly's going to go in over there, and that might just be the end. Kakashi just falls back a little, but now he's going to get exposed to the lads of Team Ekta as well. They spot him out over there, and shots coming in from that direction. He's solo over there. He's just trying to apply that first hit and pressure being applied by Paragiri, and eventually takes him down with an.
You know what? Rupa Kakashi literally used four grenades, in fact, five grenades, and unable to take down Para. But Para just required two grenades, one molly to finish off one player and knock out Kakashi. That's how you're going to utilize your utilities perfectly. Now, Para, he's just moving inside that one particular compound. And you know what? He's just going to hold that one compound because he knows that the the two other players of Kutumba, they are inside the existing compound, which are just in front of me. Now, my team, they are holding a very good angle
Look at
from
the shape of the circle here.
yeah, Rozok. It's inside the circle.
Well. This is going to change things a lot for all these teams now. Yes.
So, I was thinking about the position the player esports were holding because now they have control of that height advantage, but they have to utilize it perfectly. The way TDP not spots out there, and he's utilizing this compound so perfectly, knocked out Rage. He needs a revival, but the revival is going to be a little bit risky. Bamba is not using a single smoke grenade, and finally we see that players are just opting for those smokes so that they can revive their one teammate. But you have to look out for those sidelines because we can see two teams. So it's be moving in P9 Esports and another team. That is Hellraiser.
Well, yes, Hellraisers are already over there, and we saw them control the city of Rozok for quite some time, but now they're holding up the position. Let's see how they're going to perform over here. But Elementrix also getting some kills, Raw getting into the equation. They've got just one player knocked so far. Rage is going to get confirmed as well, so they're down to the three players, and they're finding themselves on these open ridges where they're getting shots from multiple directions. Rick might just fall out over there, but somehow able to survive and hold on to his feet. But all these teams are dedicating themselves towards northern side, and they are finding themselves under some difficult situations.
Situation is pretty difficult for them, but C9 Esports slowly and still reviving their knockout teammate back last night, providing a lot of cover, but Inception from a different angle. We saw that he was the person who knocks out Cyanide, but finally we saw that in the kill feed. But important part is third zone is closing, and we both saw that the zone rotation, the zone shift is pretty critical for some of the teams who were holding those northern side of the map. Now they have to move to more the southern side if the zone just takes a draft, or we can say a drastic.
Look at this, Shivansh. We were speaking of a very silent start, right? The start hasn't been that silent, but still 16 teams, 56 players are still surviving over here. That tells you how much these IGLs are giving preference to keep their players intact. And just 8 players lost since the start of the game, and we are already inside the 16th game. Elementaries, they're fighting that so close to themselves, but they're still not committing to any fights because they know that it's not worth really fighting for those 4 points only. It's very important to get some placement points, and if you can only keep the balance between the placement points and the kill points, is when you can make sure to be inside the top 15. For all these 32 teams, they're going to try really hard. They have the potential, and the way the game is sort of the gameplay is sort of the level of gameplay is sort of rising inside the region is going to be really difficult. But what a name! What a beautiful name! Delivered. Wow, packaged and delivered right on his feet and blowed him away.
You know what? You asked for a one-day delivery. Have that. You can say. Now, Triton is the only person from the side of 7GT, and I spoke too early, to be honest. But Wheezy, we can see Wheezy's with vibes. They are also joining the fray, and they have a good control of this mountain. But being a little bit more, confident as well as still staying inside that compound is a good option. But they have to be inside the circle because after 10 seconds, the full circle will start closing in. But they are just focusing on this rotation. There's only 2 players surviving. Rules and Malik, and we all know this duo is way more deadly and a complete quarter compared with the
Let's see what they're going to pull off over here. Just really set very high standards for them. But now, this is the moment for Hellraisers. They're closing in with numbers on the lads of Pira. Ronak is pulling out so easily in the split situation from his teammates on the ridge, but he's been picked off quite cheaply over here. So they really got to consider this even split that they try to execute on these compounds. Multiple teams are approaching outside from different directions. It's a very difficult position for Kira to hold on inside the compound. And this compound is also it's on the edge and might not be in the next shift of the zone. So this is also going to be kept inside the mind of the IGL of Kira right now. And this is a qualified team, right? And this is a mistake that they were trying to pull off over here. There was no point keeping 3-1 split in this sort of a compound at this point, and really it is backfired on them.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Hellraiser slowly and steadily just making that smoke part so that we can just move inside the circle on the other side. Moving up, they're just stepping up right now. Strange Shadow again. He got knocked out really well. He's the final player. He was surviving. He was the final player surviving, and the Strange is taking exit. That's a 14 position PDP from a different angle, looking. Taking out, scouting out Sugar. He has that SKS, and that one headshot was so critical. Dished out 82 damage on his way, but it's just brought down only 10, 12% HP, and he's just going to, heal himself up. But we need steam toss, but that grenade from the side of Susan was so good. 2 players got knocked out. Now it is going to be a 3v1 situation against Hellraisers.
That is going to be the infill range there, and situation inside the compound certainly coming to the favor, but still the problem is same. Look at the position of the compound inside the entire landscape, and they've got still multiple team enemies lurking around inside the corner. Malik is keeping an eye on them on that. On the good northern side, we have Koza who has successfully completed this rotation without losing there, and Prashant able to backstab Goku, eliminating him from the game. And look at the kind of hit they've created on these open lanes, hunting down the lads of GM Esports right now. Incus from the screen, pulling up that triangle. But look at God9, the way they are closing into all the players, they're using and spreading like viruses on the ridges over here, and not allowing any easy passage for the lads of GM Esports over here.
Yeah, Krypton Esports kind of in a very kind of a bad situation. But the important part is they have to move inside the circle, and they have vehicles ready for them. We can say that Insus is using a buggy, and again, it is going to be a good option if you have a vehicle to go inside the circle. But look at that, TDP as well as Raw, both the players are pretty close to each other. They are exchanging some of the players, but they need a little bit more overcooked and need a little bit short so that you dish out some amount of damage. But after 14 seconds, both the teams, they have to focus, they have to move inside the circle, and they have to focus on those rotations. But we still have 11 teams, left, 35 players are alive, and Ekta Esports literally ruling out, and they have 5 kills in their backpack. And to also stepping up, but they're surviving with 3 players, 6 kills on their name.
And this is the late rotation from 3B. They were engaged in this fight. But now, look at this. Leading charge for his team is from the edge of the southeast circle, with their black lines are completely not clear for them. That's not going to be a problem to deal with. But on the other side, domination is Chante right now. And really, they've been holding this compound for so long now. On the one side of this compound, we saw Elementary, but Sus has gone down over here. Kira sort of trying to survive on the ridges of these houses over here. We have seen them try to play this, and once again they are trying to take away a compound on the edge, and this is going to be difficult for them because from one side they have also got raw vision to deal with.
Yup, raw official, and this is one of the deadliest team we saw. But C9 Esports, they have a good control of this compound. But you know what? This compound is not that useful for you, because sometimes it is going to pencil you down in a very worse spot, because the height advantage as well as the mountain just behind this compound can easily, if any players in that mountain can easily touch you down. But look at that, TDP, they are struggling because they are losing down some players. One player already been controlled, and another player got knocked out. But Cyanide, he's just behind that, and he's still staying behind that. That's the best option for him. He tries back up of this team huge, and he's not stopping. Takes down one and finished him instantly, and Blue he's on domination.
Well, he is the leader of domination. They get kills. That is the important thing, right? How will you get points if the strategies are working out for you? It's really good. In my book, it's not a right strategy to challenge this compound right now, but they could have multiple options, right? They got to play the edge, they're trying to use the compound, and they're doing a really tough time to Spinny. And look at this, the way they have cleared out one compound, and they is this on point coming in from them. Even this is with White have been eliminated. Now 2 players quite early, and the 2 players were just remaining 2 trying to survive. But now, Kira, they are making things difficult for Wizard and Cyanide as well. And Elementrix, they also come inside. This is the third party situation that they're going to deal with now. And the script of the circle right towards this compound. Hozu creating an opening and eliminating Cyanide with that make. This is an easy pipe, and CNE have been eliminated out of the game. But now it is time for Kira versus Elementrix, and Elementrix have charged in their 10th surge at the right time. We have seen that they were lurking around this compound for a very long time, but even now they need center. Considering this compound is inside the zone, and Mr. Hozu making a move. This is back-to-back good games coming in from Elementrix.
No!
But Kira beats through. Rising, he takes down one player. Inception getting charged. This is Elementrix going down in second. What do you do? Mr. Hozu, he pulled off 3 kills in this one.
Yes!
Eliminated Kira, bro.
And Inception. That the final kill from the side of Inception was amazing, and we can say they are the highest in the room right now. Elementrix has a decent chance in their favor. We talk about win of the forecast. That was a risky move. That's why one player received a lot of damage. Back, he's surviving on just 20% HP. H2O Esports, they go down at the 6th position. OHR Ekta Esports doing a lot of job. Look at that, 10 kills. And they're not stopping. They're trying to spot down the players of Elementrix. Oh, he has only 7 bullets in his Scarl. Switch to an AK. And AK in long range fights, he's not even up. Still, you can gamble easily. But Inception. Wow.
And this is GURKHA Esports coming in from the northern side, but the trade has been taken. And that trade has been taken by Prashant. He's just using that DP so beautifully. But another DP in operation is right now. He's already got 3 kills. He's trying to find out, move out there, because he's coming in from that direction. His teammates need some sort of a help there, and that is why those cover fires coming in.
What? You saw that, right, Trooper? He got knocked out by run over. Okay, so incredible things happening in this Erangel, but still, Ekta Esports, all the 4 players are alive and they are inside the circle. And look at that, Chante, he has an M16, he has an M16 in the final circle, in the 6th circle, in fact. Wow.
Well, yes, he's carrying it over there, but those are there trying to press charges coming in from the northern side, but they're getting really good amount of challenge. But still surviving their players. running out with Buggy over there. This is Prashant getting pinned down by Mr. Huzu. That is the fourth kill. And Huzu is the last surviving member for Elementrix right now, trying to get some more points for his team. And his position is not looking very good, to be really honest. But the good thing is he's still holding on to them. Or has he been eliminated? Yes, he's been eliminated now. Not coming in, and they've got 9 points out of this game. It's going to be a really, really important thing for them. Let's see how much points they have added on in total. That's going to be something to watch out for after that. But now, Goza Esports, they don't have the ship of the circle, but they've got a good position to play with, and they've got some good covers that they've created for themselves. And Teammaker, Chante now trying to get their faces inside the circle. They are both beautifully, but this is trying to take down a knock over them, and we still have the third team in the equation, that is TDP Noob out there.
Yep, and you know what, Noob, he has a very, very good position because look at that. OHR, Ekta never anticipated this. Now, Noob, he got sandwiched between two teams. Now, he has to decide that which direction
big
he has
nades
to
coming
move.
in.
But this is going to be incredible. If this going to connect, Trooper, this can destroy the hope for Goza. And look at that, Lark is surviving on 5% HP.
And Noob didn't realizing that his mate was so on point, almost getting a knock for him, but he's now interested towards the other side as well. OHR Ekta, he knows about this team, right? He's been present here for a very long time, Noob, and he knows exactly where the opponents are. So the smoke's being deployed now, and this is a good move from Chante, right? Look, he's going for the flank. He knows that there is area inside the play zone that he can exploit, and that is exactly what he's looking to do. Anish is also on a flank angle, but he's got to be really, really aware, because Chante's new position can be a really destructive force for Goza Esports to deal with, and this is not looking a good position. Even Sad Boy is not looking in a very good position, and they might just be Chante's victim if they don't spot him at the right time.
You know what, Trooper? The way Goza is reacting to this situation is amazing. Because after that one incredible grenade from the side of Noob, they are just blocking out the same angle by using those smokes. Now they have no smoke left in their backpack. Lucky, and he spots out Noob with that. Random spray, trusty process
Now-
takes an exit at the third with 4
Now-
kills.
Yes, look at this. This is what I'm talking about. Lucky took the shots over there, and Ekta got the sound cues, and so the utilities were directed directly towards him. But now Lucky somehow trying to throw the utilities back over where the utilities were projected from, and this is Anish's position being compromised, and he's getting pulled down over here. And this is the flank position that I was referring to. Chani could not pick him up, but definitely Miracle could, and he's put down over there. This is the 2v4 situation for Team Ekta, and let's see how they're going to deal with this, because really it looks their game. And Tate's mate coming right on point. Sad Boy decides to give up on his teammate. He's going to smoke up the area, but gets picked up by Miracle once again. So Miracle is already picked up too. Now this is GANGSTERS. Can he get Gante? No, Gante gets him instead, and that is the end. And a chicken dinner coming in here at the very right point on the last stage here inside Erangel, and this is the team of Ekta Esports. They've been doing so good in the recent past, and yet again a 30-kill chicken dinner on the opening day of the on the debut here, and this is the first day for them, and getting all these important points in this Erangel game is really going to help their confidence.
You know what? I just mentioned about that incredible play from the side of Goza Esports. Shante, with that flank, literally destroyed the hopes and the dreams of Goza Esports. Now, he got the MVP title as well. Obviously, he deserved that. Perfect 1,000 damage.
Assists. Look,
7. Oh my god. 7 assists, 5 kills, 1,000 damage, and 250 done. Amazing performance by this one lad.
even if the entire team is getting 7 assists, I'm really happy with that. But this is just one player, Shante, getting 7 assists for his team. So that clearly tells you the importance of this player in his team out there. And it's been a really, really amazing performance once again. Exact on point 1,000 damage that he's delivered for his team. And this chicken dinner was an amazing, amazing reward for their effort coming in for this team. But they were really silent during the late mid game, and this was the reason that they could go to the top, and they just made sure to got maximum number of players inside the final circle. And Miracle, he was really spectacular inside the final circle as well. 5 kills for him, 535 damage. But what Mr. Hozu and Inception were doing was really spectacular. Look at the damage coming in from Inception. 870.
Up 871, amazing performance by this one lad. But You know what? Johnny used to mention this thing about Ekta Esports. They love to play slow. First of all, they understand the gameplay of their opponents. Then they start then they start fighting, and that's why they secured the chicken in the final match of the day. Let's we talk about the match. Somebody Miracle got highest kill, 1,000 damage in his favor too. We talk about the match ranking, 28 total points in their favor. Ekta Esports slowly and steadily and gradually stepping up, and as well as moving up the overall ranking too.
Well, they are, and all these six teams getting a good amount of points out of this game. Even Kalayogan got 6 points out of the game. So a decent performance for them, but really outstanding were Elementrix, Thirsty Process, Closer Esports, and Closer Esports as well. So they're really going to do a hell lot of good for their positioning
Yeah.
inside the overall standing. But inside the match rankings, the teams have missed out in this game. Losers with 5 underrated rookies, and even the strangers were at a point, but they
Oh,
got
wow.
eliminated without any points over here. Split Esports get eliminated with just 1 point. It was a beautiful game. Kira were playing over there, but it was more run game that they played.
Yes.
Strategically, I wouldn't have used them to attack on that compound, but later on, the hardship of the zone brought that compound into the equation. So somehow or the other, they were doing the right thing.
They were doing the right thing. But again, I just want to mention this 1 point Uber. Look at that. Hellraisers, they have 4 points, but again, they're again dependent on those skill points, right? They
Yeah.
were lacking in those placement points. They had only one placement point in the game. The story will continue. But after this fight, 7GT, they were on the back foot. They were on the back foot, and that's why they got punished in the final few of the match. But I love this fight. In that situation, Kazuma Esports have had no chance just to stay away and just to hold that one single compound. But you mentioned this one thing. This 3+1 split in the very, very close circle. Not gonna help in your favor, but Kira Esports somehow managed to win that fight. And after this contestation, Elementrix literally did the third party and enjoyed a lot of it.
Well, the only problem with that 3-1 split over there was that there was multiple kids inside the vicinity. In this size of lobby, and that is why the fourth lad, he found very difficult to keep that free cover and maybe come to the other side of the ridge and bring his other three teammates into the equation. And things really went south for them after that, and they had to push onto that compound, losing out. But this is the final circle moment where Miracle and Chade were significantly dished out good amount of damage. 2 kills for Miracle inside the final circle. That is going to really do a hell lot of good to his confidence, considering the fact that when they come back against different groups, they've really got to perform. But this is how the overall ranking looked by the end of the day. JyanMaara, they haven't been touched. Their position, thanks to those 45 kills. Look at that. 45 is the total points for the hashtag 7 and 8, and that is the kills that JyanMaara pulled off yesterday. It's a clear statement from Xtreme and his teammates out there. But what are they after inside this year's in this fall split PMCO? But 76 points in total. They're on the hashtag 1 position, looking really good without a chicken. So does the H2O with 57
Yeah.
without a chicken. They are real consistent team. But apart from them, AsOne Unity with 2. Elementrix, look at where they are now. 8 also on inside top 5, but Elementrix with 50 points in the top 4. That is exactly what they wanted. And they've done this in the last 2 matches itself.
So that's the best part of the game, right? Now, this Nepal region, some teams being consistent, and that's why they are at the top. To be honest, N2O, they are playing very, very good. They and being consistent is their, story. So that's why they are at the second position. But Hoody Esports stepping up at the 9th place with 43 total points. Again, good performance from the side of this team. Frosty Process finally stepping up as well on 13th position, climbing up the ladder. I love this. Because they have 35 total points in their backpack. But C9 Esports, CN Esports basically dropped down at the 17th position, 29 points, and so has SOLTI squad.
Well, they certainly do. And this is the page number 3, right? So Kutumba, it's a new team playing on a qualified not getting 17. Look at how many teams are on 17. Stops Kutumba, Xtreme, and Nation Esports, everyone now there on 17. So when they are going to get the next match to play, they really got to keep that. Really got to take that shackle and move ahead. Kira Esports getting 11 points. They got 4 placement points. I think some of the placement points were from this game as well. They were surviving that till the end, and they really got some good control in this game. So let's see how they're going to move ahead as a team. But Frozen Phoenix, Huddle, underrated rookies, and just one more team over there. Single digits even after 4 matches. Something is really going wrong for him. They really need to figure that out. But no fear, nothing is going wrong for him. He's just installing fear in the hearts of his opponent so beautifully. 18 kills in just 4 matches. Amazing.
Look at the damage of Ara GT. He's on the third position, but still he dished out 2,047 damage. Very, very close to just hitting that 2,050 mark. But still, 11 kills being collected by this one lad is amazing. Susan again joining the fray on the fourth position from the side of JyanMaara. But there are only 2 teams from Group C and D, and the teams are Xtreme Esports, Nara GD, and Elementary Trust. This man is crazy trooper, because if we talk about PMCO, he was amazing. Right now in PMCO, he's again showcasing the same thing. He's playing very rough road throughout PMNC, and right now he's just showcasing the same thing.
Well. We're going to find that out what he's going to pull off over here. And he's been an amazing player, right? And Mr. Uzu and his teammates, even Orange for that sake, they've all been amazing player. And we've seen a lot of instances for casters curses, right? But this was an instance where a caster came in and asked the team to perform, and they did. So it was a good motivation for them, I feel. But yes, this is the head-to-head between JyanMaara and AsOne Esports. Look at them, are different. They do a 9-6, 5-2, 5, and somehow JyanMaara Esports is just dominating inside the semi.
The interesting part is, you mentioned this earlier, but still, I just want to keep on mentioning it. They haven't secured a single chicken dinner on their name, but still, they are holding both the teams above the first and the second position respectively. But JyanMaara, they played 4 matches, so as every single team, but still, 76 points from just 4 matches. They are showcasing that, yup, they are here for that massive prize pool as well as a ticket for this PMPL season 4.
Well, they're going to get it. But only 15 tickets are available for all these 32 teams, so they got to make sure that they land inside the top 15. And
Yeah.
all those 15 teams who are at the break of 4 matches who are not finding themselves inside the top 15, they really need to figure out what they're doing wrong, and they got to come back with a better strategy.
You know what? Better strat it is going to be there, because we all know now 1/3 of your games are done. You have only 8 games left, and you have to be consistent. And if you want to be in the top 15 again, ladies and gentlemen, top 15, because only top 15 will continue to the finals, and then they will fight for that one title, which is going to be the PMCO Nepal title, as well as the PMPL Season 4 ticket, as well as the huge chunk of the money.
Yes. And yes, that is all going to happen for sure. But Skylights Gaming is just waiting inside the regional finale for all these 50 teams. All that action is going to come up for sure, but we still got 4 more days of semi-finale. So this is Ruba, I got Shivansh here with me, and thank you so much, guys, for joining in on Day Day. Do make sure to tune in tomorrow and have fun of all these matches as well.
Good night.
Let's get it.